To be a Steeler is to consider others before you consider yourself. To protect your brother, even from himself. To give support at your own expense. And when wearing the black and gold suit of armor, make sure nobody desecrates it, disrespects it. Most importantly, we ourselves don't dishonor it. From previous legends who have donned the black and gold. These virtues I learned while playing for the Steelers are what make the legacy of the black and gold timeless. They are passed down in the locker room from the steel curtain to anyone who valiantly wears the black and gold. Creating a brotherhood that is deeper than money, business, and winning. To be a Steeler is to consider others before you consider yourself. This is our culture, Steeler culture. Now, here are your hosts, Rob and Dan, the Steel Twins.
Hold on, wait a minute. What the fuck did Juju do? Wait, what? What did Juju do? Wait, hold on. This was not the plan to open the stream, Rob.
No, I'm asking a simple question. What did Juju do?
I don't want to know.
It was something on Snapchat, right?
I guess. All I'm going to say is,
what happened?
Don't go to Juju's Snapchat, or just don't search up Juju whatsoever in the internet category, in the internet browser, on Twitter, X, Facebook, whatever. Don't search him up, because you're not going to like what you see. That's all I'll say there. I was not anticipating him making that comment.
Just asking a question, man.
I don't have the answer.
I heard something happen.
I
I'm
don't
just
have
asking.
the answer. Okay, we're here to talk about wide receivers, not
not that wide receiver. I mean, we moved on from him. I haven't thought about him in months.
Yeah, but one player, or two players rather, that Steel Nation keeps thinking about is one Brandon Aiyuk and the other Tee Higgins. There have been trade rumors going around the past couple days, almost a whole week, as a matter of fact, that there are still rumors speculating around the Steelers and Brandon Aiyuk, which have been going around for pretty much a whole month now. And then just recently, trade talks about Tee Higgins, or trade rumors about Tee Higgins. That source is coming from the same person that said the same thing about Brandon Aiyuk initially. That is Andrew Filipponi of 93.7 The Fan.
Yeah.
We'll discuss it all. We'll discuss the rumors. We'll discuss the recent reports. Newsflash and spoiler alert, they're false. It's all false. There's nothing to it. There's not a lot of evidence that says that the Steelers are going to be trading for Brandon Aiyuk or Tee Higgins, or the fact that Brandon Aiyuk might have asked or requested a trade. That was immediately cut false by his agent. So
yeah, it was never reported by any top tier person like Schefter or Rappaport or anybody of that nature.
No.
Anybody of that type of branch.
Although the reports are false, and we'll talk about it, it is still a possibility. It's not unlikely. So we got to talk about it as well, because anything can happen. And from the looks of it, the Steelers are in the trade talks for a wide receiver. Who? We do not know. But it seems like they are in the hunt for a wide receiver before or during the draft, which is very interesting because outside Aiyuk and Higgins, I don't know who it could be. We threw out Cortland Sutton about a month ago, but if they're going to go to trade for a wide receiver, you might as well go big. You might as well get the top dog possible because, frankly, the offense needs it. The receiving room needs it. And if Omar Khan wants to put this cherry on top of this great offseason Sunday he's been just building up, my God, would that just be one hell of another move on Omar Khan's part this offseason.
Yep.
It's got to mention it. There's a poll in the chat for you guys that says, do the Steelers trade for a wide receiver? So far, 60% of you say, yes, they do. Who that is, we don't know. We don't even know if they will trade for a wide receiver. Regardless if they do or don't, we still think they might draft a receiver because it's a necessity. They need depth. They need bodies. They need playmakers in that room because right now the receiving room is incredibly weak. We have George Pickens and nobodies. We have no reliability whatsoever outside of GP. That's it. But we want to thank you guys for joining us on episode 65 of Still Culture Podcast on this Sunday night, which we are not a month. Thank God not. We are a week and a half away from the NFL draft.
Yeah, we're inching closer and closer till draft time, till Thursday, April 25th.
All we got to do is get past this last full long work week.
And then it's draft week.
We'll be on vacation. And then you guys can anticipate live streams every single day of draft week. Monday all the way through Saturday. We got something going on, so you guys can anticipate that after next week or after this week for draft week. So I'm really excited to get into it. We just got to get through one more week before we actually get to draft week. So I'm excited for that, but we got to talk about the recent rumors regarding Aiyuk and Higgins or any rumors regarding the Steelers training for wide receiver. We got all the updates here. I want to get into the chat real quick. Sources, trust me, bro, says X Concepts. Pretty much. That's what most of these reports, quote unquote, are saying is sources. Brandon Aiyuk has requested a trade, or the Steelers or Ravens are heavily deep in trade talks with Niners for Brandon Aiyuk. The source is, just trust me. I know a guy. That's all it is. There's not much to it. There's no credibility whatsoever. But
no.
Again, just because the reports are false, it doesn't mean it won't happen. Because there's always that slim possibility. And Brandon Aiyuk has added some fuel to his contract discussion, his contract negotiations regarding the 49ers.
Yes, he, as of 2 days ago, is no longer following the 49ers on Instagram or social media of that matter.
Yeah.
He has unfollowed them completely.
Yes.
Take that as you will.
And first of all, I don't know who searches that stuff up. Like, who searches up, hey, is he following this team? Like, I just don't understand it. But he's not following the Niners on Instagram. No. That's probably a ploy by him and his agent to drive up the rush or even like the asking price to resign Brandon Aiyuk because he's going to get the bag. He's going to get top-tier money. He's going to be a top 5 highest-paid wide receiver in the league, as he should be. You've seen what he did with all the weapons that the Niners have. This guy's a playmaker. Will he come to the Pittsburgh Steelers? Probably not. But I'm going to be the dork. I'm going to be the one that has false hope because it might happen. Maybe. Am I dumb for thinking that?
With Omar Khan, no, you're not.
What I've known on Omar Khan is anything is possible.
Yeah, he traded away Kenny Pickett after he was here 2 years, and then the very next night, he got Justin Fields. I mean, like, who in their right mind thought that was ever a possibility, especially with the Steelers?
Yeah.
The Steelers don't do that, but Omar Khan does.
Omar Khan has pretty much told us, expect the unexpected. Anything is possible. So, the update on Brandon Aiyuk, we'll start Brandon Aiyuk since he's the hottest commodity here. Brandon Aiyuk, like you stated, he unfollowed or did not follow. He's not following the Niners on social media.
No longer.
So that got all the reports all crazy that he's not following the Niners. So the trade discussions were kind of spiraling out of control. Is he really going to request a trade? This is probably all a ploy so he can get his contract so the asking price can go up so that the Niners can just give him the contract as soon as possible, right?
Could be a ploy, or it could just be the fact that he's completely frustrated that, hey, I have not got my deal yet. I'm pretty much done with it.
Yeah, and this is a very common thing around the NFL, around in all sports.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Deebo Samuel did sort of the same thing.
Yeah.
He was frustrated because he wasn't getting the bag. He wasn't getting the contract.
And he got the bag.
Yeah, they ultimately reconciled, and Deebo's one of the highest paid receivers.
But are the Niners going to be able to pay Brandon Aiyuk and Deebo Samuel? The only team that was able to pay 2 wide receivers $20+ million is the Chargers with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and they're both gone. Can the Niners afford it? They got Brock Purdy coming up for an extension. They still got to pay Bosa all this money, Deebo all this money, Warner all this money. How many others?
A lot of other fast-rising stars that I'm sure they're going to be having.
Isn't Hufanga going to get a contract?
Oh, you
soon?
damn well bet that he's going to get a contract. You know the Niners are... John Lynch is not going to want to let all these guys to walk out, but when it comes to business, he's not going to be able to keep them all. But he's going to have to pick and choose.
But he's been adamant about keeping Brandon Aiyuk. He does not want him to leave. So if he's going to be able to pay him, he will. But according to... I don't know who this guy is. John Frasella on Twitter, on X.
Yeah, he posted this today.
Goes under the @LegendSports7. I've never heard of this guy.
He goes... apparently he's an NFL insider according to his description, but he tweeted this morning and said, breaking, Brandon Aiyuk has officially requested a trade from the 49ers per confirmation from my San Francisco source.
Now, who is his San
whoever
Francisco
that may
source?
be, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, this was easily and quickly and immediately debunked by Aiyuk's agent, Ryan Williams, where he quote tweeted and said, "You need better sources." So he completely shut down all that. That was believed by many for 10 minutes before he was able to quote tweet and say, yeah, that's not legit. You're lying.
Yeah.
You need better sources. You have no sources. Pretty much. So Brandon Aiyuk has not requested a trade. He has not.
As of yet, it's still a possibility that he could. But as of now, he hasn't. As a matter of fact, what the situation is, here's the update on the Aiyuk Niners situation here from Ari Mirov of My Sports Update on X. Brandon Aiyuk could still get traded. This does not mean that he won't. 49ers GM John Lynch has made it clear that they want to keep him long term. Aiyuk has implied he deserves to get paid as a top receiver.
He does.
And has hinted he's getting frustrated, hence unfollowing the 49ers off Instagram. There's a gap they have to bridge for all this to get resolved, but as of today, Aiyuk has not told the Niners he wants out. That is where things stand currently.
Why would he want to be out of the Niners?
Why would he want to leave Kyle Shanahan and what he's building? Why would he want to leave a quarterback like Brock Purdy, who's in the right system and is just a very stellar quarterback? Why would he want to leave a guy like Deebo Samuel across from George Kittle, a tight end, Christian McCaffrey, that defense?
The truth is, he doesn't want to leave San Francisco. This is all a ploy by him and probably his agent to just continue to spark contract talks. Flame it up a little bit. That's probably all it is. It's just a little ploy. Players do it all the time.
It's what Deebo did.
Everyone freaks out.
It's what Deebo did.
And everyone freaks out about it all the time. Could he still be traded, though? The answer is yes. He could be. Perhaps if a team is able to offer way too much for Brandon Aiyuk, then the Niners just might take him. Just might take the trade. If Aiyuk does not agree to any contract that the 49ers offer, then the Niners will have no choice than to trade him.
Yeah.
So, yes, it is still very possible Aiyuk could be traded, and he would still cost a lot. He would cost a lot to get him, and then it would cost a lot to extend him because he's probably going to get somewhere around Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill type money, which is top-tier wide receiver money. Tyreek tops at 30. Adams isn't far from him.
No, we're looking at maybe 25, 26 mil per year.
If not more. So, yeah, you're going to have to pay him, which the Steelers can afford. That's always kind of a question is, can the Steelers afford Aiyuk? Why would the Steelers pay Aiyuk the biggest contract in Steelers history or the biggest contract for a wide receiver in Steelers history when he hasn't even played a single snap? They can afford it.
Yeah.
And we know the player Brandon Aiyuk is. He's a proven talent. He's one of the best in the league. And they are paying nobody on offense. Nobody. What have you heard about our offense the last how many years? We have the lowest paid offense in the league. Pay increases will come for Najee, for Warren, for Pickens, for James Daniels, as he's a free agent after this year.
Sayamalu, maybe?
Maybe Muth if he proves himself this year. There will be pay increases, but nothing that's going to break the bank.
No. Nothing like what we're paying the defense.
Yes.
Watt, Hayward, and all them.
Right. So, and we're not paying a quarterback any top money anytime soon.
No.
So they can flesh out however much they want to Aiyuk. So paying him and extending him is not the issue. Someone that has been proven around the league, someone that is a dominant receiver, an elite talent, and has not missed a single game, ever.
No, availability is his best key.
So, yes, it is worth paying him before you even get him on the field. It's worth paying him. The Steelers can afford it, and he would undoubtedly be an impact player day one. And the trade compensation is just the biggest question. How much would they trade for him? What would they give up for him? What would the Niners want from him? Probably something incredible.
So, well, considering the fact that Lynch wants to keep him long term, he's passionate about the guy, he's passionate about wanting to keep him. If it has to come down to just them not agreeing to terms to a contract, it coming down to business as usual, yeah, Lynch is going to be aggressive in wanting to get some high compensation in return for Aiyuk. Because he knows the type of player Aiyuk is.
But can he get it?
That's the question. That's the question. Is a team going to be willing to trade a crap load of comp?
It depends.
I don't know if they would want to.
I'll just say this, man. If a trade were to happen between the Niners and Aiyuk to whoever, it'll most likely happen during the draft. It'll be a draft day trade. It's a shot in the dark. It's probably in the unlikely category, but it's not impossible. If there is a day, if there is a time for it to happen, it'll probably be during the draft. And thus, it would probably require, depending on what team it is, it would probably require some first-round pick swaps. So, for example, if the Steelers were to trade for Brandon Aiyuk, we would swap first-rounders. They would get 20, and we would get 31. They would move up 11 spots, draft a receiver in front of the Bills and the Ravens and any other team that needs a receiver ahead of them, and we would just drop down 11 spots, take best player available and or center. That's a fair trade to me. Maybe throw in next year's capital.
Well, we're going to have to throw in next year's capital.
Yeah, fine.
That'll have to be the case. Nothing too high, though. Nothing too high, though.
A second or a third. I think that's fair.
A second, I think, is worth it. I want to trade away next year's first. I want to do that.
Not a first, but a second or third.
That's what I'm saying.
If they can manage a third, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. But I think that's fair compensation. Otherwise, if the Niners' asking price is way too high, then yeah, I just don't see him being traded. It all really depends how the contract talks are, if Aiyuk accepts any offer, or if a team is willing to give the Niners so much compensation. But do wide receivers bring a lot of trade value? Do teams flesh out a lot of trade capital for wide receivers?
It depends on who you're talking to, because look at the Devontae Adams trade how many years ago?
Right.
Green Bay traded, no, it wasn't Green Bay. Green Bay traded away Devontae to Las Vegas, and Vegas traded away a lot of capital.
Yeah.
I think the Dolphins traded away a good chunk of capital, too, for Tyreek Hill, if I'm not mistaken. It really depends on who you're talking about.
Yeah, let me actually get the actual compensation here. The Packers traded Adams to the Las Vegas Raiders in exchange for a 2022 first-rounder and a second-round pick. So, yeah, it would cost some big compensation. Now let me get to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember off the top of my head. But these are just some of the more recent examples. Tyreek Hill was traded for a 2022 first-rounder, a 2022 second-rounder, and 2 fourth-rounders, and a 2023 sixth-rounder. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's exactly a lot of capital.
It is.
Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams are arguably two of the top receivers in the league.
Yeah.
Aiyuk is slowly creeping his way up there in that discussion.
He's a top 10.
He's slowly creeping his way up in that discussion.
He's borderline top 5, but he's easily top 10. Is Aiyuk.
And because of that, and because Lynch is wanting to keep Aiyuk, but if they can't agree to terms, Lynch is going to want some high capital in return.
Yes. Yes, he will.
That's what he's going to want.
Especially with him being an aggressive GM, as he's shown. Yeah, he got a first rounder for DeForest Buckner.
No, he's not going to loosen that grip.
No,
he's not going to loosen that grip. If he's going to get rid of Aiyuk, he's going to want big capital. It just depends on which team is going to be willing to give that up. The Steelers, in this discussion, I don't know if they're going to want to do that, because we still got needy positions that have to be filled.
In fact, if you want a more recent example, A.J. Brown was traded during the 2022 draft along with Marquise Brown.
Both of them were traded for first-round picks.
Yes, they were.
Simple as that.
Yes, they were. So Yeah, I mean, you could look at like the Jerry Jeudy trade that the Niners or that the Browns traded to the Broncos. Granted, that's Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, we're talking about the minutes of the mid here.
Bro, we're talking about Joe Montana compared to Kenny Pickett. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Like, the trade value is obviously a lot different when you compare Aiyuk to Jerry Jeudy. So when it comes to top-tier elite receivers, yeah, these teams are willing to flesh out first-rounders. At least with the Steelers and the Niners, it is worthy enough for them to swap firsts because we wouldn't have to give up our first. The Niners would just be trading up, and we would still get a first-rounder. We would flesh out some next year's capital at the same time, but whoopee shit. We're getting a proven wide receiver. We're getting a dominant receiver opposite Pickens. I think it's worth a shot. I think it's worth a trade. It's just a matter if Lynch is going to listen to offers or if he's forced to listen to offers.
Yeah. Well, considering the draft is a week and a half away, I mean, time's ticking down. So the Niners are going to have to come to some sort of term with Aiyuk within that time. And Omar Khan and the Steelers are going to have to come up with some sort of deal if they are in discussions with John Lynch and the 49ers.
Right.
They're going to have to come up with something and really quick at that.
Yeah.
Clock's ticking. It's only a week and a half away.
But it could also be one of those scenarios where draft day comes and then the Niners are getting their phones blown up and then the team, I don't know, Omar Khan, for example, is calling about, hey, what's the offer for Brandon Aiyuk? What do you want for Brandon Aiyuk? And Lynch could just slap the fucking phone down. Like, it could be one of those things like, I'm not hearing none of this.
Maybe.
Or maybe he is going to entertain. I don't know. He doesn't want to trade him. Aiyuk has not requested a trade, so signs point to Aiyuk not leaving San Francisco. The odds are he won't. The Niners will flesh out however much they want because they want him to stay. He should stay. They would be losing an incredible playmaker and a phenomenal target for Brock Purdy. They cannot risk that. Lynch knows that. He really does know that. But, again, man, anything is possible in the NFL. Anything's possible. If it's going to give the Niners the chance to trade up to replace Aiyuk, then maybe they could. It's just a matter of, if we trade Aiyuk, can we get someone that's better? Is that what that's the thought process Niners got to go through.
Yeah.
So it's like compare Brandon Aiyuk to this year's draft class and who might be available whenever.
Right.
So it's a stacked draft class, but where would Brandon Aiyuk now lay within this draft class? He's up there.
Yeah, he's definitely up there.
He really is. So I mean, there's not much give in regards to the Steelers and the Brandon Aiyuk rumors. That tweet that he made regarding Mike Tomlin, hey, people say we look like twins. What do you think? That was probably fuel to the fire on the inflammation of his contract talks. And now he has unfollowed the Niners. He's not following the Niners on social media. That's just another layer to the contract talks. This is all a ploy game by him and his agent. It happens to athletes all the time. Could it lead to a trade? Possibly. Will it?
It depends on how the cards fall. It really does. It depends on how the negotiations between John Lynch, 49ers, and Aiyuk go. It depends on the type of money Aiyuk is seeking and wanting. If the Niners can't come up with that, if they can't agree to terms with that, then they're going to have to go with the business decision.
Yes, they will.
Sometimes that's the case. It's the NFL. It's business.
Yeah.
You may hate it. You may not like it. You may not want it to happen. But at the end of the day, it's business.
That's true. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's a wait-and-see game. It could happen. Most likely not, but you can't rule it out. So, in regards to the Steelers and Brandon Aiyuk, there is no give. Whatever reports you hear, don't believe unless it comes from Schefter, Rappaport, Garofalo, Jeremy Fowler, any other credible source. Like, any source that you trust that. Trust the true insiders that are hired for this. Not just some Smo Joe on X. And everyone falls for it. So, don't believe everything. And that's in relation to other trades and the draft as well. Since the draft is coming up, these accounts, I don't understand them.
They're going to be going crazy. They're going to be posting sources. This guy wants traded. The Steelers or this team's talking to this team, and that team's doing this with that team. You know, it's going to be chaotic all over social media.
Just don't believe it unless it comes from a legitimate account that you trust. You know, people that get paid to do this. So
that have the backing because of these situations.
Yeah. So just don't fall for idiot accounts. Obviously, there is no give to any of this, but it could still happen. Fingers crossed.
At the end of the day, it's still very possible, and I believe Omar Khan is working the phones every day.
Yes, he is.
He's keeping track of what's going on.
I'm going to ask the chat. Would you trade for Brandon Aiyuk? I want to hear your guys' honest opinions in the chat. Would you trade for Brandon Aiyuk? I would.
For the right price. I'm not overpaying when it comes to draft compensation to trade away, and I'm not overpaying him. And I don't say Aiyuk does get traded to the Steelers, right? I don't see the Steelers just giving him this boatload of money. The Steelers are smart with their money, especially when it comes to guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Omar Khan is a cap wizard. He knows how to work the cap. He did when Kevin Colbert was the GM, and he still knows how to do it, even as our GM today.
Yeah, they still don't flesh. They still don't flesh out.
Why do you think Tyler Boyd is still a free agent? Tyler Boyd apparently wants all this money, right? But the Steelers ain't going to raise their offer.
In fact,
why would they? They're not desperate.
We got a $2 super chat from Menards Maniac, who's an STN member, by the way. Appreciate you. Says sign Tyler Boyd. They still have the offer on the table. They're not going to increase their offer. That's why he's still a free agent. If Tyler Boyd would have just accepted the initial offer the Steelers gave him, he'd be a Steeler right now. He'd be wearing whatever jersey number he can have, 85 if that's available. I forget. I don't know. Obviously, they're not going to flesh out all this money. So you're right.
They're going to be smart with their money.
But they would have to flesh out all that money if they were to trade for him.
They're going to have to flesh out a good portion. They're going to have to flesh out what they feel is going to be right for Aiyuk. But they're going to do it in a way where they're not going to be in cap purgatory for offense or in general for the team.
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either.
Because the cap increases every year. They're going to be pretty steady with the cap situation next year. And again, they're not paying no one on offense. They can afford it.
Yeah, they can.
That's just my opinion. Let's see what the chat's saying. A lot of them are saying yes. For 2 second rounders, I mean, I would do that. That's a lot cheaper than the first because we would still keep the 20th overall pick. I would trade for CD Lamb. The Cowboys, I don't know. I can't say that they're not going to because I don't know. I do doubt that the Cowboys give it to CD Lamb. Who they have after CD?
Who do they have?
I don't know.
Anybody.
I don't know.
Michael Gallup's a free agent.
Isn't he due for a contract as well?
I think he is, yeah. They broke the Cowboys record. Single season receiving record.
Wow.
He did.
Wow.
So, yeah, he's due for a big deal.
Yes, he is. He's coming to his 5th year. He's going to get paid. And Jerry Jones would be stupid to get rid of him.
So who's he going to pick? Is he going to pick Dak Prescott or is he going to pick CD Lamb?
CD?
I would too.
CD?
I'd move on from Dak if I was Dallas.
No trade capital, too much, plus a huge contract extension. I get it.
See, it's a double whammy. It's a double win. You got to give up a bunch of capital and you got to pay him all this money. But at the same time,
you know you're stud.
You're trading for a proven stud and you're paying him something that I think at this stage of his career, what he's done in San Francisco, he's proven his worth.
Yeah.
So giving up all that, two things at once. Yes, it's something that you're gonna. It's a hard pill to swallow, pretty much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, it's Brandon Aiyuk.
Right.
Brandon Aiyuk we're talking about.
Still Lee in the chat says no because he requires too much money in a contract. Plus Pickens is coming up. That's a good point as well. Pickens is coming up. I don't know how much he's going to require,
especially if he has a breakout year again.
He should. Under Russell Wilson, a better offense, yeah, he should. He had 1,000 with the quarterback garbage we had last year. So I mean, yeah.
I don't know how he did it.
We know the talent Pickens can give us. I mean, he already has.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I feel like with Pickens, like there's just something holding him down, and it was mostly the quarterback play and the offensive game plan. Now, if the cuffs are off, it's over. It's over.
Yep,
it's over. So yes, Lee, you are correct in that assessment. I would still trade for him, and I know it's silly. Why would the Steelers trade for a wide receiver when they're so good at drafting wide receiver, and then we have a stacked wide receiver class? You're correct. It's a win-win. It really is. It's a win-win. You trade for a proven wide receiver, or you draft one of the more stacked wide receiver classes. You would still draft a stud.
I don't think there's any wrong in either discussion. Both can be correct. No. Both are correct. You can't go wrong with either direction. It's a matter of...
But you run the risk. You run the risk of whatever receiver you draft not panning out. Because there is always, I know we're the Steelers.
I was going to say, I would counteract that statement with we're the Steelers.
But you also can't turn a blind eye to Lima Sweet and Sammy Coates and, you know what I mean? I mean, I know there are two.
Chase Claypool, yeah,
Chase
I know.
Claypool.
Yeah, I know.
God.
I know. Listen, I understand. I get it.
I'm just saying.
But this receiving class is one of the most loaded. Probably the most loaded I've seen in a long time.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
But you can't really go wrong with either direction you go. It's just a matter of how aggressive the Steelers are really going to be.
Yeah.
And thinking more about it, when it comes to them in this, trade discussion with Aiyuk and even Tee Higgins a little bit, with them being aggressive here for trading wide receiver, how aggressive are they going to be with wide receiver in the first round?
That's very possible. We cannot rule out wide receiver in the first round of the NFL draft. We can't. They could go line, which is most likely. That's what I'm anticipating is line. They can go tackle. They can go center. Corner's a dark horse, but I would put wide receiver right below offensive lineman as a possibility because they've looked at some of the top ones, and they do need bodies in the receiving room. They need impact players. They need explosiveness. We have such a weak wide receiver room right now outside of Pickens. We need it.
Yeah.
So, and here's the beauty of it, and this goes for any other position. But if they go wide receiver in the first round, you can still grab a center in the second or trade up for one since we have the capital to do it. Tackle is stacked, corner stacked. You can still get a defensive lineman sometime. Like, they're not out of options. They're not out of bodies if they go receiver in the first round.
Yeah, of course.
Keep your options on. So you are correct. Corey Flores in the chat says, Boyd is in Pittsburgh per his IG story. This is new to me. I'm going to check. I'm going to check. Does anyone have his @ Or maybe I can just search him up.
On Instagram, yeah, Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd. Okay, I'm going to check his story. Well, he's at a Easy Dub Club in Baltimore. And yes, he is in Pittsburgh.
Now,
as of 5 hours ago.
Okay.
So he was in Baltimore 12 hours ago, and he is in Pittsburgh as of 5 hours ago. Now keep in mind, he did go to college, Pitt. I think he grew up in Pitt.
I believe he did.
Let me search it up.
What was it? Was it yesterday that the likes of Brett Kiesel, Troy Polamalu, Russell Wilson, even DeMar Hamlin, they were all grouped together at the Penguins game?
Yeah.
All of them were in the Penguins game. Was there something happening at Heinz Field? Aaron Donald was there, James Conner was there, Hamlin was there.
Well, this was 5 hours ago.
Who's to say that he wasn't a part of it? Who's to say he wasn't there to be with that gang, to be with that group of people?
I don't know. Well, first of all, I didn't even know that was happening.
I seen a picture today. I guess something was going on down there in Pittsburgh.
A family
Heinz Field.
reunion?
Something going on. I mean, there was a picture
I know
there.
there was some sort of reunion yesterday in regards to the Steelers. But I know Tyler Boyd grew up around the Pittsburgh area. He went to college in Pittsburgh. So, yes, he is in Pittsburgh, but could he be home? Maybe he has a home in Cincinnati. Maybe he never bought a home in Cincinnati because he's so close to Cincinnati, so he just stayed in Pittsburgh or close to Pittsburgh, wherever his residence is. I don't know. So
I don't know, man.
It could be he's in Pittsburgh to accept the offer to get another negotiation battle with the Steelers, or it could just be, hey, I'm home. I don't know. We might get something. Tyler Boyd would be a nice addition still. I'm still on the Tyler Boyd train as long as we don't overpay him. Because we need bodies, we need dependability. He'd be a great slot option. And a leader in the locker room. Patrick with a $2 with a gift. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Steel Lee with a $1.99 says, if we get Aiyuk, we're not going to be able to pay George Pickens. See, I disagree. I think we can. I don't think George Pickens is going to cost as much as Aiyuk. I don't think Pickens is going to cost close to 20. Not yet.
I think it depends.
Not yet.
I think it depends.
Maybe I'm foolish in thinking this. I think George Pickens' contract could be very similar to what Deontay initially got, and then that could be like a 2-3 year deal, and then he would work his way up to get that extra payday. That's what I'm thinking.
Is that what Pickens is going to want?
I don't know.
Is that what Pickens is going to want? I think it really all depends on how he performs this upcoming season.
I don't know.
What his stats are going to be, how much. I mean, we know the type of potential he has already shown, and he still has, and type of impact player he can be. It's just a matter of when Pickens has the ball, can he get it done? Can he be consistent?
Who, Pickens?
Yeah.
Yeah?
But that's for him to showcase that talent. And in
sure.
that case, how much is he going to want to ask for then? It really depends on how he goes out and performs. We know what he's capable of, but it's up for Pickens to go out there and perform. And then if he does what we all are hoping that he does, he's going to want a big bag. Even at his young age still.
No, you're right.
He's going to want a big bag. He's going to be he's going to want to be up there with amongst the top.
That's fair. Maybe I'm being delusional as hell. If I am, I apologize. They could not pay him. They could. I don't know. But you might be right, Lee. They might not be able to pay him. But they're not paying no one on offense, so they can still flesh out however much into the offense they desire when they have to. They're not paying no one on offense. No one. They got Patrick Queen for an incredibly cheap deal. They got TJ Watt worth every penny. Cam Hayward needs a pay cut. Ogunjobi needs a pay cut. They got Minka. You know, what else are they paying on the defense outside of that? Joey Porter Jr., Keanu Benton are under rookie deals. Alex Highsmith, how can I forget about that?
So I restructure him. I restructure him,
yeah. But, I mean, I think they could still pay Pickens even if they trade for a wide receiver. Let me put it this way. If they trade for a wide receiver, it can't be just this. It can't be mid, is what I'm trying to say. If they're going to trade for a wide receiver, you got to go big. You got to get a big name. You got to go aggressive. And that's what Omar Khan is all about.
Of course.
So if they trade for a wide receiver, they need to get the big name. They need to go heavy. That could be Aiyuk or that could be Tee Higgins. Let's merge right into Tee Higgins. Tee Higgins, man. Andrew Filipponi of 93.7 The Fan, a couple weeks ago, I think a month ago, I forget when exactly it was. He was the one that broke, I would say, for lack of better words. He's the one that reported that the Steelers and the Niners were having discussions about Brandon Aiyuk. He's the one that did it. He's the one that started it all. Before Brandon Aiyuk put out that tweet, right? Now, 2 days ago, he says, sources, the Steelers have had internal discussions about trading for Bengals wide receiver Tee Higgins. They love the player, but there's questions about acquisition cost and his next contract cost. But there's the issue of the Bengals trading him in the AFC, and that's the biggest roadblock. Why would the Bengals trade him within the division? Why would the Bengals trade him within the conference? Why would the Bengals trade Tee Higgins at all? In fact, there is an immediate update to this, as a matter of fact. Tee Higgins told reporters at his youth camp today that he anticipates playing for Cincinnati in 2024 after previously requesting a trade. See, unlike Brandon Aiyuk, Higgins actually did request a trade. He did. But Higgins said today he anticipates playing for Cincinnati this upcoming season. And Jeremy Fowler, just a couple hours ago, says the Bengals have made clear behind the scenes they have no plans to trade Higgins. They want another run at a Super Bowl with Jamar Chase and Higgins on the outside.
So there you go.
So in that regard, to make it short and sweet, Higgins isn't being traded.
And he's not being traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No. I don't know. First of all, I don't know Andrew Filipponi's sources. Again, maybe just trust me. Trust me, bro. But yeah, they're not trading him to the fucking Steelers. And the Steelers aren't going to give the Bengals anything crazy that would benefit the Bengals.
It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Makes no sense whatsoever. If it was a depth guy, then sure. Like I'll go back in the history books. When the Steelers traded for Justin Gilbert, or when the Steelers traded Sammy Coates to the Browns.
Well,
that cost nothing.
Who remembers the Steelers trading for Chris Wormley?
To the Ravens. Yeah, from the Ravens. That cost nothing. Yeah, depth guy. 5th round flyer. Have at it.
Yeah,
Have fun.
like it doesn't matter who gives a shit. It's a depth guy, whatever.
But
you know,
a
best
quality,
of luck. But Tee Higgins, dude.
But a quality starter that broke out in their Super Bowl game, it's not happening.
No,
that never made sense to me.
No, the Bengals are not going to trade Higgins to a division rival where they're going to have to face him twice a year, and no rival is going to give another rival big compensation.
Right.
It's just stupid.
No,
it never made any sense.
No, it made no sense to me whatsoever.
Now, could the Steelers have done their due diligence? Yeah, maybe. I could see them doing it. I could see Omar Khan doing it. You know, he's just checking on the situation and just seeing what's going on.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, because he could be calling about Higgins to see what the offers are, kind of like testing the waters and see what the market is.
Yeah, he's just checking on what's going on.
Just to see what the market could be for other wide receivers out there, like an Aiyuk or whatever else he has up his sleeve.
He's getting a feel for it.
Yeah.
But would the Bengals say, yes, let's talk? No. No, the Bengals are not going to listen to Omar Khan.
No.
and Omar Khan's not going to give all that away to them. No, it's not. No. It's not happening.
No.
So Tee Higgins is not going to become a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Right.
The guy's more likely going to remain a Bengal. We're going to have to play him twice a year. And that's that.
Okay.
And that's that.
All right, then I guess we're going to look
Not
at...
like we haven't done before.
It's like Joey Porter Jr. and Dante Jackson versus Tee Higgins and Jamar Chase. Who they think going to beat them Bengals? We'll see you whenever.
Yeah.
Whatever week it is. Twice. So,
Aiyuk is more likely.
yeah.
So does it happen? It depends on how the cards fall. It depends on how negotiations go between John Lynch and Brandon Aiyuk with the 49ers. And it depends if Omar Khan is truly aggressive in wanting to acquire him,
Right.
give up a lot of trade capital, or whatever trade capital the Niners may want, and at the same time, giving Aiyuk the bag.
Right. But Aiyuk, Higgins, the rumors are false. They are false. But it's not unlikely. And I do fully believe that the Steelers have had talks. They have had calls. They have had discussions with, I don't know what team, but they've had discussions with some team or someone regarding a trade for wide receiver. Who that is, from where that is, I have no clue. I cannot even begin to even think who. But I do believe that the Steelers have called around about trading for a wide receiver.
Yeah, we've mentioned countless times, maybe Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton had a career year when it comes to touchdowns last year. 10 touchdowns with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, and his contract is similar to what they would have paid Deontay if they kept him. And
At this current,
honestly, they would be paying him cheaper.
They
They'd be
would be.
paying him cheaper. And worse come worse, he's here 1 year. You can cut your losses next year and save however much in cap. We lose nothing.
and
it
quite
wouldn't
honestly,
cost a lot to trade for him.
and quite honestly, the Broncos, I mean, they need a rebuild, dude.
They got it for fan for
They
all.
need a rebuild. They need as much capital as they can acquire. I think they just take anything at this point. I don't think Sean Payton really gives a damn as long as he gets something in return.
We have
just to rebuild that whole team.
We have 2 fifths next year. I'll throw a fifth next year to the Broncos for
Yeah, we
Courtland
got 3
Sutton.
sevenths. We got 3 sevenths next year, dude.
Hey, we traded a 7th for Allen Robinson, didn't we? Something like that? Cost us nothing.
It was cheap.
Cost us nothing.
It was cheap.
And we only paid Allen Robinson $5 million. We could be paying Sutton something similar, maybe a little more expensive, but at least you know we're going to get something better out of him. We're going to get more production out of him. We know he has that chemistry with Russell Wilson. Makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
And if he does produce, if he still has some in there, you can extend him a year, cut the cap in half. If not, cut him, save however much, which is double digits in cap space. So,
But anybody
I
else
still
out
throw
there,
that out there.
but anybody else out there, I mean, there could be an under the radar type of team and player out there that we may not even be thinking about, maybe crossing our minds completely.
Yeah.
I just don't know who that could be. I can't put my tongue on that.
I don't know.
I can't think of who else they could go out and acquire.
All right, here. How about this? I'm going to go through NFL teams, and then I'm going to quick think and see who they have and who they could trade. First of all, I don't even know who the Cardinals have a receiver, and we know they're going to draft one. Baltimore Ravens have no receivers. Falcons, they're not trading.
They're not getting rid of Drake London. They're not going to give away weapons from Kirk Cousins.
No, not with what's his name as the OC. The guy we interviewed, or we're going to interview, and we didn't, from the Rams.
Morris. Is
No,
that his
Raheem
name?
Morris. That's the head coach, the OC.
Who the hell was it? Yeah, who signed?
I forget.
I forget. Yeah, I forget who he was. Yeah.
But yeah, they have the
Zach Robinson, was it?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they
Yeah.
got him. Bills have nobody. Panthers have nobody. Bengals ain't doing nothing. Bears, we already got enough out of them.
Not enough.
Browns not happening.
No.
Dallas, I don't even know who they have outside of CD. Broncos, Sutton. Lions, I don't think they're going to trade anybody.
No.
Texans, no. Didn't they just trade for a receiver?
Stephon Diggs.
Oh, fuck!
Yeah. They're going to keep Nico. Nico had a breakout year. They're getting Tank Dell back.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Houston's not getting rid of any of their receivers.
Although Stephon Diggs is only a 1-year rental. Because they reworked his contract and he'll be a free agent next year.
Yeah, but they're being aggressive for Stroud.
They traded a second for a 1-year rental? They better hope Diggs sticks around. But still, that's nasty. That's nasty. Packers? No. Doubt it. Doubt it. I'm not even entertaining Christian Watson. Colts? No. They just re-signed Michael Pittman. They didn't really have anyone else outside of Alec Pierce that I'm aware of. Maybe I'm a casual for that.
Josh Downs, but he was a rookie last year. They're not getting rid of him.
Rams? No, they're not getting rid of Kupp or Nakua or Tutu. We already have a Tutu.
No.
Jags? They need receiver. They need receiver. Vikings? Don't even start with the Jay Jettis talk. It's not happening. Chiefs? No, they need a receiver. Saints? No, I would love Olave, but I doubt they trade away their only receiver.
Yeah, that's all they got anyway.
Raiders, Devontae Adams.
There's always
I doubt it. They have that environment there. Why would he want to leave?
Well, there was discussion about Adams possibly wanting to be traded, but that was when they had Josh McDaniels as a head coach. Now that Antonio Pierce is there, he's
morale?
He's a permanent head coach. So morale has completely boosted. The whole team just played better. Adams ain't going to want to leave now.
Giants, they have nobody. Chargers have nobody.
Quinn Johnston.
God.
No, thank you.
Eagles. I know Devontae Smith is up for a contract extension. Maybe he gets traded. Maybe the Eagles can't pay him. I could see it.
Maybe I could see something
Slim
like
Reaper.
that.
Slim Reaper.
I could see it possibly. Maybe, I don't know.
But then again, it's one of those. It's cheaper than Aiyuk and Higgins, but it's another one of those things you got to trade and then pay.
Yeah, of course.
Dolphins, no, they're not trading nobody. Niners, like Aiyuk, maybe. Patriots have nobody.
Forget about it.
And no, I'm not starting on Juju. No, and no one should be looking at Juju Snapchat.
I still want to know what happened. I actually don't. No,
Seahawks,
I don't.
no. Jets, no. Bucks, no. Commanders, Scary Terry. Maybe.
Who's your new head coach? Oh, it's Dan
Quinn.
Quinn. Yeah, Dan Quinn's not getting rid of him.
Yeah, I don't know any other receivers the Steelers could trade for outside of Cortland Sutton. And I don't know, maybe Devonta Smith. That's it. John Mechie, I would like that. It wouldn't cost a lot.
Is he a starter though?
No, he was out his rookie year because of an illness, and then he played sporadically last year. And he's going to be buried underneath a receiving room of Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and Diggs.
How much
Mechie
playing
makes
time?
sense. I like that.
How much playing time did he have last year?
He played a couple games. He didn't see a lot of production.
Oh, because I know Noah Brown really broke out.
Now you're really depending on his ceiling from college, from his Bama days. Personally, I think he'd be better depth than what we have right now. So even if he's not the starter, I mean, I would take him for depth purposes. I'd trade a fifth next year for him.
Yeah, he didn't start any games last year. He played 16 games. I'm still thinking we have 16 games. 16 receptions, 158 yards, but that was it.
Right.
So it's like that's a lot to gamble on. It is. And listen, I like Mechie. You know, he's still got potential, but being in the crowded receiving room, he's not really going to get a lot of playing time. I can see Mechie being traded and maybe given the opportunity, but again, that's a huge gamble.
Sure.
To be wide receiver 2.
I would see him as depth initially.
And maybe he could work his way up, but I don't know if the Steelers are going to want to settle for that.
Why are we bringing up Gunner in the chat? Why are we bringing up go get Gunner? Nah, bro. Nah, I'm glad
I'm tired
gone.
of his fumbling.
We got Cordero Patterson now, bro. What a fucking upgrade. Swear dry.
My God, what an upgrade. Holy crap.
My God, what an upgrade. Yeah, otherwise, I don't know what other receiver we could trade for. I do believe that the Steelers have had discussions with somebody about trading for receiver, but I don't know who. Maybe it's one of those things that it's over my head or it just blindsides the ever-living shit out of Steel Nation swear jar, but it could happen. I don't know. I do believe they've had talks. Whether that is in relation to Aiyuk or someone else, I do believe it. So in regards of it being unlikely, I think it's very likely. I think it's always a possibility. It's just a matter if the team wants to get rid of him or if the Steelers will offer enough.
Okay.
Or the Steelers can just go into the draft, which has always been reliable, and it's worked pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the time. Very rarely has it not worked.
And
like
again,
once every 8 years.
Again, if they are aggressive, as some people are saying that they are, according to reports, when it comes to looking to trade for a receiver, then how aggressive are they going to be when it comes to looking at selecting receiver round 1. Probably very highly.
Yeah.
Probably very highly.
Yeah, I like that. I like that you said that because if they are aggressive about receiver, they could very well be aggressive about drafting one as well.
Especially with, because huge shout out to Sentinel. We did a collaboration with him not too long ago.
Yeah.
Go check it out on the channel. He mentioned this when it comes to the draft and where teams are selecting. Where the Steelers select is obviously 20. Behind us is the Ravens, who could be looking at another wide receiver. Odell's still a free agent, I believe. I don't know if they're going to resign him.
And very clearly the Bills.
The absolutely the Bills. Even maybe the Chiefs, although they got Marquise Brown, it's a 1-year rental at best. They could still be looking to draft wide receiver.
So they could be trying to.
And those are 3 teams in the AFC, bro.
Yeah, exactly. With proven quarterbacks.
And this is what
strong passing attack.
This is what Sentinel said.
Yeah.
So it's a good point that he threw out there. I'm going to bring it back up right here because
you take away one of the star receivers in the draft and you bring it to your team with Pickens.
yeah, you're not giving any of those teams the light of day to even look at whoever they could select in the first round. You're not giving them that
No.
attempt to look at the direction.
No, especially since now you have a quarterback that can throw the ball, that is not afraid to throw the ball, that has proven to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Wilson and Fields both.
Yep.
Now, I know we're still going to be incredibly run-heavy. I know Arthur Smith is all about the ground game. That has never been an issue with Arthur Smith. No one has ever doubted the way he schemes his rushing attack. No one has ever doubted his run scheme whatsoever. It's always succeeded no matter where he's went, with the Titans, with the Falcons. It will happen with the Steelers since we're already good at it. We're just going to get better from a scheming aspect, from a line aspect, because we're still going to address line in the draft.
Yep.
So, yeah, the rushing attack is still going to be heavy. He runs a lot of 12 personnel. In fact, he just brought in McCole Pruitt, one of his beloved tight ends. Wherever Smith goes, Pruitt follows.
Pretty much.
He's an astounding blocking tight end. So, yes, we're still going to be run heavy. We're still going to rely on it. We're going to rely on a lot of the tight ends. I could see Connor Hayward playing that fullback role since Arthur Smith actually likes to use I for him, unlike, he who shall not be named on the couch right now. But we still need a passing attack. We still need receivers. We still need dependability. So that's why we still bring up wide receiver and them trading for wide receiver because they need it. They really do need it. Arthur Smith also loves play action and big body receivers who are good route runners and physical like Aiyuk. He does. He needs someone to work in the rushing, run blocking, and the run attack. Someone that is a ferocious run blocker. Pickens fits that to a T. He needs guys to get open. Pickens can easily get separation. That wasn't a question last year. And, yeah, we do need a nice route running receiver. Pickens is not known for his route running. He can create separation. He's physical. He has the long speed to create separation. It's not a concern whatsoever.
Yep.
It's not an issue. We do need that route runner. We lost that in Deontay. So if they draft a receiver, they're going to need someone with route running ability, like an A.D. Mitchell, like a Ladd McConkey, maybe a Brian Thomas if he falls. I doubt it, but you never know. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is a good route runner? I mean, there's so many names in this draft class. Roman Wilson's solid. I know Tomlin loves him. You guys have mentioned him in the chat. I'm seeing it in the chat. So maybe a Roman Wilson in the second round. I know he's more of a slot weapon, so that might be a little bit of an issue. But, I mean, there's names out there, man. There's names out there. Of course, some of those names are going to go a little higher than most. So if the Steelers want to get that, they're going to have to be aggressive. They're going to have to spend some top capital to get guys like that. But again, man, they've been aggressive, or there's been signs of them being aggressive for trading a receiver. Why wouldn't they take that approach into the draft?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where, we're now in a hole at receiver because we traded Deontay. For whatever reason, he's gone now. But now we have a hole. We know we're going to address it. It's just a matter of how.
Mm-hmm.
But my God, do we need a playmaker? Do we need bodies? Do we need dependability? So that's why I asked for the Steelers. If you're going to get a wide receiver, you got to go big. You got to be aggressive. Whether that is in the draft or that is trading for one. The latest I can see them drafting receiver is round 3 at 84. That's the latest. It just depends how the board falls, and it really depends what they select early on into the draft, which could be center and tackle or tackle and center in that order, or any other position. I'm still in the belief that they go offensive line and then receiver, whether that is center and receiver or tackle and receiver, but then you would drop center back. And I'm not comfortable with dropping center until 84.
No.
We're not going through a Kendrick Green situation again where we wait till the third fucking round to draft a center when you know goddamn well you have nobody.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm
they
still going.
don't.
So I still think we could go center and receiver in the first 2 picks. But I don't want to forget tackle. So it could go any way. It all depends how the board falls. But the latest I see them drafting receiver is in the 3rd round. If a Malachi Corley is there, that's a home run pick. Home run selection. A Javon Baker would be another good one at 84. Brendan Rice is another really good one under the radar.
Yeah.
And the Steelers have looked at a lot of West Coast prospects, a lot more than they have in recent years. They really have. In fact, look at some of the top offensive line prospects that they have brought in for top 30 visits that the O-line coach has went to pro days for. Talisi Fuaga, the top Washington tackle, Troy Fuatau, I think is that's how you pronounce his name? I'm not sure.
Fuatanu.
Jackson Powers Johnson. Those are 3 top offensive linemen that they have looked at that will be selected early on.
Yeah.
So they are doing their due diligence in the West Coast a lot more prominently than years past. That could be the same for a wide receiver like I said, a Brandon Rice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They've looked at all the Texas cats. They sent Andy Weidel to the LSU Pro Day. You know, they sent the wide receiver coach to Western Kentucky's Pro Day. They sent the wide receiver coach to a lot of Pro Days, actually.
They're looking at every aspect.
Yeah. Jalen McMillan, Washington, solid route runner. Yeah, he is. Washington's got 3 receivers coming out of college. They looked at all the Washington studs. All of them. In fact, Washington's got a lot of talent coming out of this year. But, I mean, Jalen McMillan, Rome is going to be a Rome Adunze. He's going to be a stud, probably top 10 selection. And what's his name? Jalen Polk. McMillan and Polk are more so day 2 options, but you know they're guys that they've looked at as well.
Yeah, they have.
Roman Wilson, like I said, from Michigan. I mean, options are endless. Endless. It's insane. So if they don't trade a receiver, then yeah, they could still fall back and they're going to get a stud. There's no doubt in my mind they're going to draft a stud as a wide receiver. I just don't know where. I just pray it's within the first 2 picks because that and center are the top 2 needs.
It's got to be.
And I know we can still fall on tackle.
Yeah, tackle stacked.
Unless they trade up for a tackle, like a Fuaga, which is my legitimate dream, or a J.C. Latham. Because after J.C. Latham, no one's a day 1 starter. Not a Tyler Guyton, not a Nemarius Mims, no one else. Graham Barton is a inside guy at the next level because of his arm length.
Uh-huh.
People are saying center. That's a center option. They haven't brought him in for a top 30 visit yet. If they do, then yeah, I'm going to look at him as a more likely option for the Steelers. I don't right now because they haven't brought him in for top 30 visit, and history shows in the first round they like to select guys that they brought in for top 30 visits.
Mm-hmm.
They like that familiarity. They like just that chemistry early on pre-draft. But outside of those guys, no one else is worthy of selecting in the first round, and none of them past J.C. Latham as a day 1 starting tackle. So if they trade up for a tackle, then yeah, then Dan Moore's on the bench. Broderick back at left.
Yeah, but are they going to want to put Dan Moore on the bench, knowing that they have that insurance policy, quote unquote, at tackle?
They have a lean on.
They have a lean on where they can have more starts since he started the past 3 years. Broderick is capable at right, although we know he's better at left.
Yeah.
You know, they can push tackle back considering how stacked it is. You know, center's not as deep, but how much of a factor is it for them to take center early? How much do they value the position?
Right.
But considering the fact that they don't have one on the team, Nate Herbig's not a center. They don't have a center on the team. Are they going to be aggressive in that aspect to get center out the way, select the best guy round 1, or again with the wide receiver talk, they're going to be aggressive wanting to get one of the top receivers early on in the first round, just get out the way and then push the offensive line position back.
Right.
When you look at every aspect, I mean, you can't really hate whichever direction they go because it is addressing a need, and there's boatload of talent at their respective
Positions.
projections.
Yeah. Thing is, if they trade up for, like, say they trade up for a tackle, I doubt they trade up for a receiver, but let's just, for the sake of, an example. If they trade up for whatever position in the first round, yeah, they're going to have to give up some capital. They could trade up next year's capital and keep all of this year's. But depending on what team they trade up with, maybe the Vikings, maybe the Broncos, they need some day 2 capital. They have no day 2 capital until later. They have nothing. So they would still have to give up something, which they have the capital to do it, but I really do want to keep that 98th pick or that 84th pick or that 51st pick.
Now, who remembers last year when they traded away a 1st and a 4th to trade up for Broderick Jones?
Yeah.
After the 4th was traded, we didn't have a pick till round 7, day 3.
And then they traded back in the 3rd with the Panthers.
On day 2, they traded back in the 3rd, and they took the Panthers' 4th-round pick to replace the 4th that they traded.
So they
still got a stud.
Right.
So they could do both. It could be a thing where Omar Khan does deja vu. He trades up, gets a guy that he wants on the offensive line to build the trenches, and then whatever he trades away, he replaces it by trading back, simply put as that. If somebody's not, if somebody that he wants is not there, then that's still a high possibility.
I could see it. Or the Steelers sit patiently at 20, and depending on who's there, or if none of their prospects they like are there, then they could trade back and get extra capital, which I am in high favor of. If I'm going to be honest with you, man, I'm in high favor of anything. Anything.
My mind is open to any and all possibilities. Trading up, trading back, taking wide receiver, taking tackle, taking center, even taking cornerback.
Like, my mind is not set on one pure thing.
Like you guys see the sign. Yeah, you guys know how we feel about center. We need to address it. We need to find a franchise center.
We have preferences, but we're not hell-bent on like last year, we were hell-bent on tackle, okay? Nothing was going to convince us of anything else. Like when we drafted Najee, we were hell-bent on Najee. We still could have gotten Creed in the second. We didn't. But we were hell-bent on certain J.K. Dobbins, right? I was hell-bent on J.K. We drafted Chase
all of
Claypool.
us were. All of us were.
But I'm not that way this year. I have preferences. O-line is still the top position in our opinion, followed by receiver. But I'm open to anything and everything. I would like to trade up for a tackle, like a Fuaga. I would like to trade back for extra picks. I'd like to stay at 20 and take a center or the best tackle available or the best receiver available.
Yeah.
Like, my mind's open to a lot. It just depends how the board falls. God, man, I love the draft. I love just thinking about it. And I just can't wait for it to be here. Corey, how could I forget about Ricky Pearsall? How the fuck could I forget about... One of the best route runners in this draft class. How can I forget about Rookie?
Yeah, out of Florida.
Yeah, he's another one they brought in for top 30 visit. If they want to take him day 2, that's another home run selection. Talk about a playmaker. How can I forget about Ricky Pearsall? Again, man, there's so many guys. There's so many guys, man. And options are endless. Burton is a stud, but an absolute me-first guy, not a Steeler. That's my problem with him, is his attitude.
We're talking about Jermaine Burton.
Jermaine Burton.
Out of Alabama.
Yeah, he transferred from Georgia to Alabama. So, yeah, he does have attitude issues. And that completely just canceled all my initial feelings about him. I was looking at the tape, I'm like, wow, this guy can be a playmaker. This guy, man, is just nice route runner, big playability. And I thought to myself, yeah, he'd be a solid pick. And then, of course, we did more extra digging, and I saw his attitude issues, his drama issues. I'm like, yeah, we don't need that. We just got rid of that.
Yeah.
So
why would the Steelers trade away Deontay, who apparently was a nuisance in the locker room, to replace him with another guy with that same problem?
That's another name. See, this is how stacked receiver is. Because I'm forgetting some of my favorites even. I forgot about Pearsall. How can I forget about Xavier Legette? Thank you, 06 Steelers Nation in the chat. How can I forget about Legette?
Legette isn't the most polished, but man, is his upside freaking...
His upside is incredible.
The sky is the limit for Legette. You talk about DK build with A.J. Brown level production possibility.
Yeah.
My goodness, dude. My God.
Let me see what's going on in the chat. Almost 300 votes. Do the Steelers trade for a receiver? 57% say yes. So, again, anything's possible. Let me see. Oh, I lost it. Give me a minute, folks. Draft a project lineman in the first. Secondary still suspect. Wide receiver room still below average. And D-line still suspect against the run. Good job. Well, if there's a draft class for them to fix all those issues, it's this year. It's a good problem to have because they have the capital and the draft class for all those positions is stacked. Good problem to have for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Very good problem. It's just a matter if Khan can fill it all. I don't think he will be able to. But again, man, last year, all our picks fell for incredible value. So, I mean, it could happen again.
Yeah.
The draft doesn't always go as many people think it would. And I actually stated he slows down on routes in game hard. That is an issue. Like he showcases it. Like he showcases the explosiveness and the speed in his breaks. I don't know why he slows down. That's not going to pass with Zach Asani. It's not. The way that he has developed receivers and the mentality instills in his receivers, that's not going to pass. But Adani's upside is, did I say Adani? It's Adonai. Excuse me. I know. I'm fucking up all these names.
A.D. Mitchell. Let's call him that.
Adonai.
A.D.
A.D. Mitchell. We'll call him that. But I do like A.D. I really like
A.D. Mitchell.
I really like A.D. as a matter of fact. I could very well see him being a potential pick for the Steelers in the first round, only because, I mean, Steelers need a receiver. They brought him in for a top 30 visit. They sent the new wide receiver coach to his pro day, and he was a Georgia transfer to Texas. The Steelers have drafted 3 Georgia Bulldogs the previous 2 draft classes. They've had a close eye on Adonai.
Yeah.
Very close eye. So he's definitely going to be a top option for the Steelers in the first round.
Yeah, he is. A big realistic option. Could AD be the pick?
I don't know. Could be. Could not be. He might be selected before us. You know, wide receiver draft boards are always different with every team, man. Like you look back at all the previous 10 draft classes and you see who the first wide receiver was selected compared to the others.
Yeah.
For all we know, Malik Nabers might go before Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, Cardinals could take.
For all we know,
Nabers.
Brian Thomas might go before Rome. A.D. Mitchell might go before Brian Thomas. I don't know. These teams, man, just favor certain receivers. And it does matter on scheme fit and what they saw themselves. So, I mean, you know, anything can happen.
I don't know.
But truthfully, though, I do think, like, this is what I'm truly believing. This is what I truly think. And I guess this is a spoiler on our last mock, which will be next week, which will be live, by the way, next Tuesday. I do believe they will draft offensive linemen in the first round. Who that is, what position, it depends who's on the board. But I do believe they go O-line in the first round and then receiver. But fuck, do they need a center? See, every time I say that, I also think of center. Unless they go center first round, and then they go receiver. Then they can save tackle for the third round.
They can do that. Because again, center's not as stacked.
Otherwise, unless they trade back, still get whoever they want when they trade back, get an extra day 2 pick, and then go whatever they didn't draft in the first round, and get them both in the second.
Yeah, they can do that. That's still a huge possibility.
Yeah. Where are we at in the chat? Let me see. What the hell is wrong with this keyboard? There we go. Your thoughts on Cooper DeJean feels like a Steeler? He does feel like a Steeler. Swiss Army knife. Mike Tomlin loves. I don't think he's going to be there.
The guy's so talented.
I don't think he's going to be there.
I don't know if he's. I think he's top 15. I really do.
I do too. But again, anything's possible. And they brought him in for a top 30 visit. So yeah, they're keeping an eye on him. I can't rule anything out. It could be Cooper DeJean. If it is, I don't hate that whatsoever. He's a talented corner. Could play safety. Get his feet wet in the slot. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Swear jar. Luke McCaffrey. He's going to be a stud. He's going to be a stud in the NFL. A day 3 pick, a developmental guy. He'll be excellent depth to start. And the Steelers also brought him in for a top 30 visit.
Yeah, of course they did. When is it not for them? When is it not? It's their destiny.
Just saying, man. Just saying.
That's always their motto. It's a great motto to have.
Yeah.
You keep track of the bloodlines and they showcase the potential they put on the film. They put on the tape. Their tape showcases what they can do. The Steelers will do the rest.
Right.
Simple as that.
Do we take Brian Thomas Jr. at 20 if available? Teams will try to trade up. Teams will, especially like Like the Ravens, I can see them trading up. The Bills, I don't see how they trade up.
They have no capital.
They have 28, they have 60, and they have nothing after that.
They would have to put Von Miller in the trade package.
Or they would trade next year's capital.
They're not.
Can they afford that?
They can't afford it.
Can
bro.
they afford that?
Bro, the Bills are falling apart.
As for Brian Thomas at 20, I really like Brian Thomas. I don't know if they brought him for a top 30 visit. Like I said, Andy Waddle was at his pro day.
I'm not sure. Let me double check.
So I can't say no. But I know they would like to draft someone in the first round that they brought in for top 30 visit. It's just a preference for them. Has been for years. In fact, I take that over more than Tomlin.
No, they didn't.
They didn't?
They did not hold.
So.
At least not yet.
I take the Steelers drafting someone in the first round that they brought in for top 30 visit. I take that over more than Khan and Tomlin going to a pro day.
Yeah.
I take the top 30 visits with a little more credibility. Cooper DeJean is a safety. He can be a safety. I'd start him off in the slot. Centers are going to drop. Yeah, we could draft center day 2. If JPJ just happens to fall so far, I'm taking him. If Frazier happens to fall so far, I'm taking him. If Van Pran happens to fall so far, I'm taking him. S. Dredson with a $5 says all the top receivers and top corners will be off of the board by mid-second round based on analytics. Project lineman makes no sense in the first round. I feel you. I know what you mean, and that would allude to specifically like a Guyton or an Amarius Mims. Specifically Mims. Just based because of the Georgia connection, the slight chemistry with Project Jones, and of course Darnell Washington. The thing is with him is he wouldn't be a day 1 starter. He wouldn't. He only started 8 games. He was injured most of last season. Dienmore would still start whenever Mims is ready.
No, Mims, he's more polished than Guyton, but that doesn't mean he's still not raw. He still is.
Yeah, I mean, no,
Like, Guyton is raw. Like, Guyton has the tools. He's just got to work on the fundamentals. He needs some good development for the majority of his rookie season. But Mims is a little bit better. He's a little bit more polished, but he's still got some things to work on.
Yeah, because he has such lack of starting experience.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll give you guys one crazy little statistic here. Out of all 3 years that Amarius Mims has played at Georgia, he has played a combined total of 801 snaps in 3 years, right? Project Jones in his last year as a left tackle for Georgia in 2022 played 930.
Damn.
Yeah. Mims is incredibly inexperienced, but I do like Mims. I consider him a very heavy favorite at 20 if he's there. Very heavy favorite. And I would not hate the selection because we're still solidifying the line. Yes, he would be a project. You're correct. He would not start day 1. Project didn't last year. But then you have...
Now, Project was arguably day 1 ready, at least in my opinion.
He was.
But they still viewed their rookies as projects. JPJ didn't even start day 1.
That was a
mistake
too.
Both those guys are arguable day 1 starters. They showcased the upside and talent, but they still want to work on the little kinks and fundamentals. Which I can understand. I can appreciate. They want to make sure that they are truly ready. I get it. I understand it. But at the NFL level, it's like... Especially when it comes to scheduling, because remember our scheduling, our opponents with the guys that we were going up against?
Yeah.
When it came to Project and the edge rushers and JPJ against some of the top wide receivers.
Yeah, we were going Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, you want to throw him into the fire. I don't give a fuck, okay? I mean, what better way to get your guy ready for the NFL? Welcome to the NFL, rookie.
This is why we traded. This is why we traded up for you. This is why we drafted you.
But they didn't do it. And I can't say it didn't help them, because it did.
Like, don't get us wrong. Like, we understand what the Steelers are trying to do, and I can appreciate it. I can.
I just don't want to see another 8 games of Dienmore. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like we don't entirely hate the fact that they're still being developed. They're still trying to polish these rookies. But when these other guys, these other starters are not doing their job, they're not working out, especially early on into the season, you got to get the rookie in there, bro.
Right.
Simple as that.
No, I agree. The thing with Mims is he has major concerns of lack of starting experience and injury concerns. Those are the 2 negatives. Otherwise, I mean, his ceiling is so high.
Very, especially with his frame, his size.
His
That's an
frame,
Andy Weidel tackle right there.
His athleticism. You know, the thing with Mims is that's what's winning a lot of teams over. That's what's winning me over is his ceiling. Is he can be a great tackle in the NFL. But it's also rare the Steelers take tackle 2 straight years. But if there's a year to do it, it might be this year because it's still a necessity. So
it's just who we have in the front office.
Mims, I would consider an incredibly heavy favorite. There's certain guys I would put up there. Mims is probably at the top of the list in terms of heavy favorites for the Steelers at 20. So I don't hate it. But if they want to go aggressive, if they want to go receiver or corner, like you stated, I can't hate it either because those are probably more impactful positions for the Steelers right now. Because the truth is, Mims would not start. He would be a project, and they would still start Dan Moore. That's the truth of it. Unless, again, they trade up for a tackle. Fuaga or Latham. That's it. Then Dan Moore, you're on the bench. Otherwise, anyone after that, Dan Moore. Just don't kill Russell Wilson.
Pretty much. But if they're looking to have a tackle sit on the bench a little bit, develop and work on the fundamentals, then they could just simply do that and wait till like the 3rd round with one of the 3rd round picks to select a tackle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if that's their mindset on what they're trying to look for, what their plan is for tackle, why not just wait till the later rounds? Why use a 1st round pick?
Right.
On a developmental guy when you get a guy that could get in there pretty much day one, like Jackson Powers-Johnson, who could be a day 1 starting center, in my opinion, and A.D. Mitchell, a wide receiver, where he could fit in like a glove as wide receiver 2 alongside George Pickens. You know what
easily.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I'm keeping my options open to
Again,
everything.
they could go anywhere. They could even go cornerback, dude. It's a huge possibility.
Yeah.
They've looked at some of the top dogs, the top guys in round 1. Could just be them doing their due diligence, but it could also be a big factor of best player available.
Yeah, Cooper DeJean, Nate Wiggins. I know he's skinny, but Nate Wiggins, maybe Kool-Aid.
Terry and Arnold
would be phenomenal.
Maybe a Quinion Mitchell. I don't think he's had a pre-draft visit yet. But
neither of the Bama Cats. But
they have shown a huge amount of interest in those guys.
well, they sent the house to the Bama Pro Day,
yeah.
as they always do. But
Yeah, they're gonna look over there, and why
so,
wouldn't they?
You can't roll anything out. That's all we're trying to say. We'll love to see this. Cooper DeJean in the 1st round. Zach Frazier 2nd. Roman Frazier at 84. Oh, Roman Frazier. Roman Wilson at 84, and then Mason Taylor at 98. You talking about Mason Smith? Who's Mason Taylor? I've never heard of a Mason Taylor. If you're talking Mason Smith at 98, yeah, I love that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mason Smith is very underrated. He would be a project because he didn't get a lot of playing time due to him suffering an ACL injury in 2022. But I see a lot of comparisons regarding him and Stephon Tuitt. So, I mean, has the build. Carl Dunbar, our D-line coach, went to his pro day. I mean, that's the only pro day he ever attended.
Not just him, but Andy Weidel.
Same.
Trenches, man.
Steelers should get Luke McCaffrey. I would love Luke McCaffrey. Just not day 2. It's a little rich for me. 4th round?
I think 4th round is right about where I think he'll be selected. I think that's right.
Luke McCaffrey would be incredible. Cool Boy 77 with a 4.99. Doesn't even say anything. Just has a 1 in the chat. Are you acknowledging your tribal chief? I mean,
Chiefs.
Well, which one? Is it Roman? Is it Solo now, or is it the final boss? I don't know. All I know is I'm incredibly
Maybe
invested.
it's Tamatonga.
That's not I'm incredibly invested. That's all I gotta say. And yes, Cody finished his story.
Mark the fuck out. I'll tell
I'm
you
marked
that.
up, dude. I
Marked
felt like
out.
a kid again. God, that was incredible.
Dan was going back and forth. I had to restrain him. My jaw just dropped on the floor.
Bro, when Taker came out,
No,
I flipped my
just
shit.
when he came out, just the gong.
I flipped my shit.
Just a gong.
I flipped my shit. Anyway, let's see what's up in the chat. Let me see. If we draft Mims, goodbye, Dan Moore. Not immediately, but ultimately, yes. You are correct. You're correct. Steelers met with Tyler Guyton. He is huge. Might be trade back option from 20. He is. You're correct. If they trade back and they still want to go O-line, Guyton is a top option. I'm just not a fan personally I think he's too raw. I think he's more raw than Mims.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Just not a fan. Just not a fan. But you're right. He is an option because top 30 visit.
Mm-hmm.
I can't deny it. I just personally am not a fan. But, again, keep your options on the table. They can take Blake Fisher in the third at offensive tackle. Either him or Rosengarten. But they brought in Fisher for top 30 visits, so they're probably going to look at him more prominently. So, yes, you're correct. I would love Fisher in the third.
I like Fisher. In
fact, we've mocked him, 2-3 times this entire draft season?
He's just one of those guys that where if we were to fall back at tackle in the third round, I mean, he's one of those guys that are at the top of my list for day two folks at right tackle.
Same.
I mean, the guy's a hell of a player. The guy's a stud.
Same. Draft Barton at right tackle and move Broderick Jones back to left. Barton is not a tackle in the NFL. His arm
Even
length,
if he is, he's a left tackle.
yeah, because he played all left tackle from 2021 to 2023.
And I'm not having a guy out of position.
No,
I'm done with that.
no,
I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing it.
no, no.
I'll get through Dan Moore one more time. I'll get through Dan Moore one more time, and then Broderick can finally go over.
Kind of stretching it, but Barton, his arm length is too small to play tackle.
Yeah.
He'll be an incredible interior guy.
It's kind of like Peter Skronsky from last year.
Yep.
People say that his height and his arm length was a little too small for him to play a tackle.
And he was their left guard.
For Tennessee, I
But
think.
Barton's going to be an incredible center or an incredible interior lineman.
He can play guard, but center's a big possibility just as much.
Well, he played center briefly in 2020.
Yeah.
Now, you're asking a lot for a guy that hasn't played center in 4 years to play the center position in the NFL, but he can do it. He can do it.
Mm-hmm.
He's an athlete. He's an intelligent football player. He's a hard worker, and he's still very young. So he's only going to keep growing and growing and growing.
He is.
So Graham Barton, yes. As an interior guy, I think he'd be a stud for any team. I actually see Graham Barton being selected a lot higher than most think. Like, I know people have mocked him to the Steelers or to the Packers at 25 or many other teams. I see him going a lot higher than most might think. I think there's going to be a team out there that's going to view highly of Barton, potentially as a guard. I think he can have Quentin Nelson
I could see it.
type ceiling. Like, if there's a guard-needy team before us, I could see them selecting him.
I could see it. Maybe.
In fact, that's my bold prediction for this draft, is Graham Barton will go a lot higher than many anticipate.
I could see maybe Seattle. Protection for Geno.
Yeah?
I could see Seattle.
I could see it. I could see it.
Jacksonville, maybe.
Yeah, but they need a receiver. Granted, they could save it.
They could. I don't know. I mean, it's a big possibility. If that's your bold prediction, I mean, that's a good one.
He's not undersized like Kendrick Green. Barton would be a Pro Bowl. Yeah, that's like comparing Joe Montana and Kenny Pickett. I mean, there's just no comparison. No comparison.
For Peyton Manning and Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, no. Barton, Sanders, Till, Fisher, Corley, first 4 picks. I mean, print the money now. Build the statue now. That's incredible. That's incredible. Holy shit. Holy shit. I would swap Corley and Fisher just to make sure we get Corley, but even still, those would be home run selections right there. I would be happy with that, Cody. Happy with that. Cooper can play everywhere on the O-line, but he snapped like an NFL center. You talking Cooper Beebe? He's probably going to be like a late day 2, early day 3 guy. From, what college is he from?
Cooper Beebe?
Yeah.
Name doesn't ring a bell. Hold on.
You haven't scouted him? He's underrated, dude. Very underrated. We just don't need a guard.
Yeah. I think we're fine at guard.
We're fine at guard. I know we got to extend Daniels, but why wouldn't we extend Daniels?
Yeah, like that's a priority.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me if that were to happen before regular season hits. It wouldn't. Omar Khan's.
There you go. Kansas State. Thank you.
Yeah. But Omar Khan's, he's made moves like that.
Purcell would compliment Pickens as wide receiver 2. Would have to trade up in the second top 30 visit. Yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. Yeah, he's definitely going to be a top option. I would love him to be there 51, but I do doubt it. So, Daniel Stevenson, you are correct. They would have to trade up for him. It wouldn't cost a lot. If there is a position I do see them trading up for, it's either receiver or center. It just has to be. They can wait on tackle, despite my complete dream of Fuaga, but they can wait on tackle. But can they wait on center? Can they gamble on the center dropping scenario? Probably not. Depending on how many receivers go in the first round. Can they gamble on a receiver dropping into the second? Probably not.
I mean, maybe.
Leggett,
it's more than likely than center. I'll tell you that.
A Leggett might not be there. Pearsall might not be there. McConkley probably will not be there. I could actually see him being selected by the Chiefs because that's the most Chiefs pick ever. Just saying. I can picture it.
I would hate that.
I can picture it.
I would hate that.
I can picture it.
McConkey's a beast.
Yeah, he is.
He's such a beast.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is, man. Man, if he stayed healthier, he could his first round talent. He already is first round talent, arguably.
That's going to be a story heading to the draft. Where's he going to go? How high is he going to go?
Probably higher than
I think he's
most.
I think he's worth it.
Probably higher than most. I like to see Nick Herbig with a bigger role, move him around. I agree. He needs more playing time. Marcus Golden's still a free agent. I don't know if we'll bring him back. Even if we do, Nick Herbig needs more reps. He needs to be the primary rotational piece. He needs to, I would even start playing him a little bit inside. Whether that's as a linebacker inside or just blitz him interiorly. You know, remember when we briefly had Melvin Ingram and we were having Watt and Highsmith on the inside or on the outside, and then we had Ingram blitz inside?
Yeah.
Like as an extra DN? Why don't we do that with Herbig?
We should.
Or we could have Highsmith and Herbig on the outside and blitz Watt inside. That's dirty. That's dirty.
You can do many rotations with that.
Just get to the quarterback, man. Just get to the
Oh,
quarterback.
you could do that with some of your inside guys, really.
Yeah.
You absolutely could.
I think they at least trade for a vet wide receiver 2 this season and draft Luke McCaffrey in the 4th and 5th. They could do that. They could do that. We're gonna bring up Cortland Sutton again. We're gonna bring up Cortland Sutton. Cheap. Very cheap. We don't have to give up a lot of capital for him. He's a vet wide receiver 2. He's proven. We already know the chemistry with Russell Wilson. And then, yeah, we can draft Luke McCaffrey in the 4th. Steelers love Luke McCaffrey. Love him. There's a reason they brought him in for top 30 visit. And let's just talk about the NFL bloodlines that the Steelers have drafted in recent years. Let's talk about it. Nick Herbig was a standout in preseason, standout in training camp, and he's going to be a great rotational piece. What is still in the 4th? Connor Hayward. He had a blocked punt last season. He is a secret weapon on the offense that has not been exposed yet.
No, he's a Swiss Army knife.
TJ Watt. Do I have to say anything else? Do I have to say anything else?
Yeah.
Am I forgetting anyone? I feel like I'm forgetting somebody.
Bloodlines?
Yeah.
JBJ.
Yeah. Duh. Yeah.
JBJ, bro.
Yeah. The bloodlines, man. Like, it's such an underrated aspect of the Steelers scouting, but it has worked for them so often. So often. Especially in recent years. So, yes, I can absolutely see Luke McCaffrey being a Pittsburgh Steeler because of the bloodlines, but not just because of that, man, because he's a fucking playmaker. He's a quarterback turned receiver. Steelers adore that. They like their converted receivers because they can develop, they can project. But playing receiver 2 years and he's already got the speed, he's got the route running down. There's not a single catch he can't make.
This guy's getting his helmet knocked off and he's holding on to the ball. He make catches in traffic. He can take a hit. He get back up and say, "I caught this ball, though, bitch."
I would be hype if we draft McCaffrey or Brandon Rice because Jerry Rice's brother or son.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, like you have that last name to you. You have that bloodline in you, and you put on the tape. The Steelers will do the rest.
And think about it, man.
Steelers will keep a close eye on you, and if you're in prime position to be selected by the Steelers will do the rest with you.
Right. So, I mean, we also need a special teams gunner. We lost Miles Boykin to the Giants. We don't have that special teams gunner at receiver. It's not Quez Watkins. He doesn't play special teams. Maybe Van Jefferson. Maybe. I feel like he's more here to compete with Calvin Austin for slot reps. But we don't have a special teams gunner at receiver. So, otherwise, if they were to double dip a receiver, because I do see them double dipping a receiver, I do like Jordan Whittington later on as well if they want to select him out of Texas, because he fits everything that the Steelers are looking for in a receiver.
Yeah, they could do that.
Build. He was a converted running back turned receiver. He has great special teams value. He can play that gunner ability. and he's a ferocious run blocker because that's mostly what he did in Texas because he was behind so many other receiving bodies that he played the blocking role, and he did it to a great degree. So I like him later on if they want to select him in like the 6th or 7th, which they don't have a 7th, but they could get one.
2-6. He was one 2-6.
Rob Lightfoot says bold prediction: Steelers draft Brock Bowers and trade Pat Freiermuth.
Does Brock fall all the way down to 20?
No, he does not.
Logan?
And quite frankly, I don't understand that. Why would we draft Brock Bowers? Out of all the positions,
Listen, Bowers is great.
No, yeah, but
And yeah, reuniting him with his old Georgia Bulldog tight end.
Yeah,
like,
go for it.
I get it.
But out of all the positions, tight end,
I don't know how Mute's gonna play. Right? Don't get me wrong.
can he stay healthy? That's my biggest question.
I like Muth. I think.
Can he block? That's my biggest question.
I think he's still got upside. I think he's still got potential. He just needs to be utilized a bit. He needs to showcase his talents, most importantly.
Well, he
needs to stay healthy.
He needs to be healthy and he needs to be consistent. A lot of that has to do with him being utilized. Canada didn't utilize him properly.
And it might just be me. I feel like he needs to be more physical. I don't think he's as physical as he should be.
He's soft. Let's be honest. He's soft.
This man
doesn't play like a tight end.
This man was Baby Grunk. That was his nickname?
He doesn't play like a tight end to me. He doesn't. He's a weak blocker. He's always hurt.
I don't know how Mute's going to go out and play. I would not extend him unless he proves his worth.
But
if he doesn't, then I'm moving on.
But I'm aware of what he can bring to the table, so if he can do that consistently, then yeah. Otherwise, I can absolutely see Darnell Washington being the tight end 1 at some point. I think he has the capability.
But as far as Brock Bowers, I don't see how he makes it past the Jets.
Yeah, for real.
Jets don't have a tight end.
Jets could go tackle because they got rid of Becton.
Yeah, but they traded for Morgan Moses and they signed Tyron Smith. So they're 1-year guys, but they're going all in with A-Rod anyway.
You're right.
They're just going to settle
they're going to
that.
get Bowers. You're right. Yeah, Brock
They
Bowers
don't have a tight end. They already signed Mike Williams. They're going to add another weapon. Brock Bowers is going to be a Jet. That's my prediction.
You're right.
Come draft night, 10th overall, Jets, Brock Bowers.
Yeah, you're right.
Whip-de-flip-and-do.
Yeah, you're right. Daniel Stevenson says Hines Ward signed as Arizona State's wide receiver coach. Go Hines. Yeah, that saddens me because I want him to come back to the Steelers. But I'm happy for him because he's still working in a football capacity.
He still got a job.
In a coaching capacity. As you guys know, Hines Ward is my favorite Steeler of all time. That's why he's in the YouTube cover photo that we have, the little banner above. I'm wearing his jersey, for God's sake. I mean, he's my boy.
Yeah.
I love Ward. So, I mean, I'm so happy to see you had a part. Damn it, dude.
Kyle, I apologize, guys. I had to let it rip.
Okay, anyway, let's
I'm
move
sorry.
on. But yeah, I'm happy for Hines Ward.
Oh, yeah, big time. Wish him nothing but the best.
Trump card says trade with Arizona, pick 20 for 27, pick 33 for our 51st, draft Jackson Powers Johnson, or Barton, and then grab Kool-Aid. If Kool-Aid can fall to day 2, yeah, I like that. And then you ain't. But the problem is you're not picking till 84. So from 33 to 84, you're letting a lot of talent drop.
Yeah, and you're missing out.
But you are getting elite talents.
Sure, but that's other positions that you're not addressing.
I would rather trade back and gain another second rounder than give up one of our seconds just to trade up into the second.
Mm-hmm.
I would trade back and then gain another second. That's what I would do. Whether that's before 51 or after 51, I think we could use an extra day 2 pick without having to give up one. Because we can address so many positions. So many positions. Let me see. Where we at? Where we at in the chat? Arthur Smith went and got his tight end. Yeah, he has his tight ends. Our tight end room is filled. Absolutely filled. I'm not denying Brock Bowers is an elite weapon. He's going to be. He's going to be one of the best tight ends in the league. But
it's not.
I just don't see it as a necessity.
I don't consider it necessary.
Unless you view him as your wide receiver too, because he does use a lot of tight ends. But you still need another receiver, which we could draft later. But let's say let's just hypothetically think. You draft Bowers. You trade Muth for, if he can get a third, that's incredible, right? That's incredible. You could still draft center. You could still draft tackle. Still draft slot corner. Double dip at receiver. Depending on where receiver falls, he could be your wide receiver too. But the cards would have to pan out perfectly.
How likely is that?
Well, Bowers would have to fall, and that's not happening.
And I don't see Muth being traded for a third. What team's going to trade away a third for Muth?
Who needs a tight end?
Who's that desperate for a tight end?
The Jets.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
The Jets, do they have capital?
They traded.
I wouldn't think so.
They traded a good bit. I know that.
I don't know why we're talking about Brock Bowers because that didn't even cross my mind, but here we are.
Well, it popped up in the chat.
Yeah, so, I mean, they have 10 and...
72.
Yeah,
No.
they're not doing that. They're not doing that.
No.
If anything, they might trade back.
Maybe. But they don't have a tight end.
We need to trade Pat for a late second-round pick because we're not going to resign them for next year's anyways. That is my feeling. That's my feeling about Pat. I think Darnell can play or tight end 1. I know he doesn't have a lot of receiving upside. Granted, he didn't showcase it. He wasn't allowed to showcase it. He wasn't. He just wasn't. I think this year he can showcase it. It's an underrated aspect of his game. He's not the smoothest. He's not the cleanest receiving tight end. He's not the cleanest route runner at tight end. He's incredibly stiff. But if he's a guy that will just go up there and get it, if he's your reliable guy, that's all you ask for. Almost like another Heath. Although Heath was a much better receiving target coming out of college.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're looking at a bigger Heath Miller if you were to give Darnell Washington involved. He's already an incredible blocker. He can just be that reliable target where you use his height to your advantage and he uses his big body to get up the field. Because a guy that big, it's hard to bring down. Hard to bring down. So I do think Washington can play tight end 1. I do. I'm not the highest on Muth. I know what he can bring to the table. I just question his consistencies and his injury concerns.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise,
I'm right there with you.
I'm still anticipating Muth to be here unless they do trade him.
Plus, Darnell,
I'm not opposed to it.
he's, in some weird way, he's more stiff than Muth, but he's much more athletic.
Right.
For his size.
Right. Unless, I mean, I said this the last year or so, maybe Muth can play the slot. But Arthur Smith doesn't run a lot of 11 personnel. He rarely uses a slot weapon. So that might be out of the question. But I would think that in a proper scheme, Muth can play a slot receiver.
That just might not be with us.
It's not with us. Unless Arthur Smith wants to open up his mind and open up his creativity a little bit.
If he's willing to do that.
I'd hope so.
I hope so too.
Otherwise,
To scheme up a passing game, he needs to.
Otherwise, I think Muth can be like another, like the way the Jags use Evan Ingram. They don't use him a lot as that blocking tight end. They don't rely on him a lot in that category. They rely on him a lot.
They know his strength.
Yeah, they let him use his speed and his size in the slot, up the seams, and he's been a reliable target for Lawrence. Muth can have that potential as well. Just put him in the slot, use him as their receiving guy up the middle, and as long as he can stay healthy, he's a reliable target. So I'm not denying that. I just question it, and I question our use of him.
In that case, the Steelers better not resign him if they're not going to use him. Just like I question, if you're not going to use him, why'd you select him and pass on Creed Humphrey?
Well, they did.
I know some people are tired of that being brought up. It's the truth.
Well, that's why we're still talking about center now.
That's why the sign's right there.
Yeah, God, this sign wouldn't be here if we just... Anyway.
Thanks, Colbert.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, we already signed another blocking tight end in Pruitt.
Yeah.
Connor's going to play the fullback role. We have Darnell. I mean, I think it fits. I think it would fit for Muth if we want to keep him there. Otherwise, yeah, I'm always up for trading him. Brian Branch, JPJ, in my opinion, can't miss on Cooper DeJean. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I was feeling the same way that last year. I was thinking to myself, before we selected JPJ, first of all, I thought to myself, I'm not going to hate anywhere we go. If we go Brian Branch, I'm going to love it. If we go JPJ, I'm going to love it.
Mm-hmm. You're getting a dog regardless.
I viewed Brian Branch as the better player. And I still do.
He's more versatile. I would say he's just as much as an impact player. Just as much. I mean, he's prominent. He's very important to the slot position for the Lions.
He was a playmaker all year. But so is JPJ.
Both of them are.
So either way, again, I wouldn't have hated which way we went, and we went JPJ. And let me just put it this way, man. If we went Brian Branch over JPJ, we would have no corners right now.
No outside, no.
No one.
Zero.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we had to go all last year without JPJ? Fuck.
Anyone here at Levi Wallace is visiting the Broncos, he can stay there. Because I will not miss him.
Wow.
I will not miss him.
Otherwise, how do I say your name? Menizo. Apologize if I botched that. I get what you say about Cooper DeJean. I just don't think he's there. He could be.
Could be.
And if he is, he's easily best player available.
You put him in the slot. I see his play style very similar to Branch, actually.
Yeah.
It's very similar. Just so versatile. They're athletes. They're dominant. They're speedy. They're quick. They got good size to them.
The thing is, and we mentioned this in the cornerback video we discussed, where it's a dark horse option. They could take corner in the first round. Cornerback, most likely, if they take it, will be best player available.
Probably.
Because I've stated already, I think Mims is at the top of the Steelers' wish list. I think he is one of the more realistic and likely options for the Steelers at 20. But if he's gone and they don't feel a necessity to take center so early or even receiver, yeah, they're going to go corner. And if Cooper's there, he's the best guy there. I'm not taking Wiggins over him. Maybe Arnold. But if you're looking for a more Swiss Army knife, a more versatile piece, then yeah, DeJean's the guy.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what they're going to want.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going to want because they don't really, thinking about it, they don't really have a ton of that at the moment on the defense. The only person they have that's a Swiss Army knife is Casey. That's it.
And he's your third safety.
That's it because they don't have Peterson. The door's open, supposedly. I personally don't see Peterson coming back unless it's absolutely necessary, whether if it's an injury or if they miss out on a cornerback in the draft, depending on how the cards fall again.
Right.
But, yeah, they don't have that Swiss Army knife outside of Casey. And Casey's not exactly the most go-to guy.
No.
He's a good depth guy.
I trust him more in the slot.
He's a good depth guy. He's a decent slot guy, but he's not the most dependable.
No, just playing.
He's not going to exactly be here for a while either. I actually see him walking away after this year.
Yeah, I agree. Thus, DeJean would fit that tremendously.
Yeah.
You want to put him outside, you can do that. You want to put him in the slot to get his feet wet, perfect. You want to put him at safety, perfect. So, yeah, that would be a jack-of-all-trades selection right there. Josh McCarthy from Eastern Michigan, top special teamer in the class at that gunner position, same for Jordan Whittington. I love Jordan Whittington. I haven't heard of Josh McCarthy. Let me search this guy up. I am very familiar with Jordan Whittington, but not Josh McCarthy. Or McCarty, excuse me. It's McCarty. Let me see. So he's a defensive back? He's a defensive back. I mean, we did lose James Pierre. We lost that special teams gunner.
Mm-hmm. We don't have anybody there. That could be Trice. That could be Rush. But, again, it's undetermined.
He's purely a special teamer. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he's undrafted and the Steelers can clean him up as an undrafted free agent. I won't be surprised with that whatsoever.
Maybe.
In fact, I think that'd be a very good undrafted free agent signing right there. If he decides to come to the Steelers, because that is
Ultimately his decision.
yes. Let me see. Josh McCarty. It's 2 C's. I'll keep my eye on him, though, because I can actually see him being a definite undrafted free agent. Because we do need some special teams aces there.
Mm-hmm.
I know we got Connor Hayward. I know we got Miles Killebrew, but we need some extra gunners there. Special teams matters, man. No more Pearson. He can't tackle or cover anymore. No, he can't. He sucks. He sucks. I mean, there's still the possibility he might come back, but where would he fit? That's the question. Where the hell would he fit? He fits nowhere. Move on. Trade Pat 1st and 3rd to Atlanta for their first draft Brock. So you would trade Pat, the first rounder, and a 3rd to Atlanta to draft Brock Bowers. Where does Atlanta sit at? 8th?
8th overall.
Right in front of the Jets. And I see the method to your madness. All right, I'm sending 98 then because I'm not trading 84.
No. Matter of fact.
But again, you're really asking the cards to fall for them to still be able to select a top center, a top number 2 receiver, and a tackle, and slot corner.
Atlanta's got 843, 74, 79. They got 4 picks in the top 100. 79 from the Jags pick because I believe that was from the Calvin Ridley trade, I want to say.
Sanders still is better than Branch, I think. And you can get that in the 2nd or 3rd. Center drops off fast. I do like Sanders still. And the Steelers have shown a lot of interest in him.
Sanders still is Hilton 2.0.
Yes, he is.
Guy's a freaking beast.
One of the top slot corners. And there's a lot of good slot corners, man. God,
yeah, but he's at the top.
He's
top of the
up
mountain.
there, man. He's up there. Same thing with Max Melton, Tyke Smith, Javon Bullard, if you want to put him there.
I mean, those guys are just fluid in the slot.
Yeah. Chris Abrams, Drain from Missouri.
That's right.
Andrew Phillips, they brought him for a top 30 visit. One of the few corners they brought him for a top 30 visit. I mean, options are endless at slot corner.
That's true.
They're all more so day 2 selections, but even still. Without Joey, that secondary would have been even worse. And now the league has a year of film on young Joey, and yet people still want offensive linemen in the 1st. I'm still hell-bent on O-line in the 1st, but again, my options are everywhere. But yeah, we do need another corner. Although they have Dante Jackson. He's not the complete solution, but they're going to rely on him for at least half the season. But if a top corner's there, then yeah, it's impossible to pass on, despite all the needs. Because let's think of this, man. If they select a corner 1st round, they would start in the slot. They're not starting outside. They're starting in the slot.
They would have to.
Because you're not moving Dante Jackson in the slot.
At this stage of his career, no, you're not. He's outside. He's got the frame for slot, but he's primarily outside. He played outside 95% of his NFL career.
He hasn't played slot since his LSU days, bro.
Yeah.
He hasn't even played 200 total snaps in the slot since coming in. It's not happening. So whoever they select at corner, if it's the 1st round, they're going to start in the slot. More likely like a Nate Wiggins or a Cooper DeJean. Maybe Kool-Aid. All right, let's see. What's up in the chat? Cole Bishop from Utah is good. Yeah, I love Cole Bishop. Love Cole Bishop. I doubt he falls to the 4th now after seeing his performance. But, I mean, if he is, I mean, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Trice is going to surprise everyone this year. I hope he stays healthy.
If he can stay healthy. Because in OTAs, he was really...
Yeah, he was.
He was really shining, from what I heard.
Right.
And then the pads came on, and then he got hurt, and then it just... took him out of his rookie year.
I really have hopes for Trice and Rush. I do. It's just hard to lean on them right now. That's why you need some outside corner depth. You need a slot guy.
You need that competition in there with them.
Yeah, you do.
You can't just have those two compete with each other and then both of them just have that roster spot. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to bring in a couple guys in and you got to have them compete. You got to have them earn it.
Why is no one concerned about our lack of depth at punter? Because we're going to get an undrafted free agent, like we always do. Like we always do. I mean, I'm not worried about center. We're going to get a center as an undrafted free agent. We'll just We'll just get that later on. That's why. Happens every year. We always bring in extra bodies, but they're all undrafted free agents. Whereas on Cameron Johnson, we're good at center, or we're good at punter. We just need another body. Undrafted free agent. We always do that, especially in special teams. Let's see. Where am I missing now? Zach Frazier will look good in black and gold, and he can make some holes for Najee Harris and Patterson. Yeah, he can.
Frazier said his favorite part is run blocking.
Yep. He's a strong center, man. He really is.
It's that wrestling background back in high school, man.
Yep. Wrestling background. He's mentally and physically tough.
The man was 159-2 in high school.
Shit.
What was Kendrick Green's?
I don't want to know. It didn't matter.
Clearly it didn't.
Cornerback Ronaldo Green in the 3rd and 4th is a good pick. I love Ronaldo Green. If he's there in the 4th, I'm taking him.
Guy's a big sleeper. Big sleeper.
Him and Jerry and Jones.
They were a hell of a tandem in Florida State.
Yeah, they were. But if you're looking for more of a outside guy, Ronaldo Green.
That's Green. Jones can do both, but he's much better in the slot.
There's a reason he was moved to the slot last year.
And he had a career year, man. I mean, he was shut down.
Lockdown.
Shut down, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Jerry Jones is another slot corner. How did I forget that?
Of course.
Trade next year's 1st and 3rd for another 1st this year. You're trading next year's 1st and 3rd next year for another 1st this year. That way we grab a top corner, tackle, center, and wide receiver first with 2 firsts and 2nd. Trade both 3rds and 5th to get up to 2nd. Holy shit. My boy, hold on. Let me do the math here. Hold on.
So 1st and 3rd's gone for a 1st this year. So it'll be 2 first-round picks this year.
So
that way we've got the top corner, offensive tackle, center, and wide receiver with 2 firsts and a 2nd.
And you want to trade both our 3rds
and a 5th to
for an extra 2nd. We would be down a pick.
What about other depth pieces for D-line and linebacker?
If we trade a 5th, it would have to be next year's. We don't have a 5th this year.
Yeah, it has to be next year. I'm tired of Steelers trading away 5ths, all right? I'm tired of waiting all damn day on Saturdays until the 6th round or 7th round. Like that might just be me.
We would be down 1 pick. Technically, hold on. Give me a minute. Let me fucking think. Technically, no. We wouldn't be down 1 pick. We would have a similar number of picks, just a lot earlier. But then you're trading next year's 1st and a 3rd.
You would have nothing next year.
Nothing.
Just a 2nd. And then you would have to wait till the 4th.
And I know it's 12 months from now, but next year you're looking at maybe a quarterback, probably defensive line, because Hayward and Ogunjobi will be gone.
Maybe cornerback.
Maybe corner, depending on what they draft this year. If Daniels leaves, which I doubt, but there's the possibility, you might have to look at guard.
Yeah.
What else?
I'll throw safety out there, maybe. That's a possibility.
If Elliott doesn't pan out, because he's such a low contract that he could just be here a year. There's always that.
Depends on how he performs on the field. Depends on how he and Minka do as a safety tandem.
I don't know. I see what you're saying there, but I don't know. What wide receiver can we realistically draft? A.D. Mitchell. Xavier Legette. Pearsall. Corley. Roman Wilson. Maybe McMillan. Luke McCaffrey. That's probably the top of the list. That's more my wish list, but in regards to Steelers' interest in the top 30 visits and stuff like that, that's probably it. Yeah, that's probably it. Maybe Brandon Rice because of the bloodlines. They don't draft from USC often. They've only done it twice since 2003. It was Troy and Juju.
Yeah.
Don't look at Snapchat, but that's it. That's it. Bring back Quan when healthy. If his medicals pan out, yeah, you bring him back because we need linebacker depth. Desperately need linebacker depth. I know we have Queen, we got Roberts, we have Holcomb whenever he comes back, but who knows when that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe Quan. But
I would love to bring Quan back, but again, it depends on how his medicals pan out, how his recovery's doing, because his injury was a week right after Holcomb, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Which sucked.
Yeah, I don't see linebacker being selected too early, but yeah, they need depth because think about it, linebacker might be an issue next year. Holcomb's injury might have changed him and his future in the league. Quan's up there in age. Roberts is up there in age. We're gonna need another linebacker.
I think we only signed Roberts to a 2-year deal last year, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to be coming to a contract year.
He could come back, but he's not a starter after this year.
He might not be. He might not be.
He's a
and the
rotational.
Steelers may be wanting to look at somebody younger and someone more for the future at linebacker too, alongside Queen.
Unless we draft someone to develop.
That's still a possibility.
That had to be early day 3.
Maybe late day 2. Maybe.
Maybe. But
Maybe. That's a big maybe.
The needs are far greater than linebacker right now.
Yeah.
It's all linebacker round 1 and 2 in 2025. I could see that. If they want to do that, linebacker might be a necessity unless they really hit on a depth piece. Edgar Cooper would be great, but I don't see him as an option for the Steelers no more.
No, that guy's round 2.
Not even Peyton Wilson, not Junior Colson, maybe Trotter, because they sent the house to the Clemson Pro Day.
And again, bloodlines. He's got a similar stature to Queen. I don't know how we feel about 2 6-foot, 235-pound linebackers.
See, I used to worry about height and measurables at linebacker. Not in today's NFL.
That's true.
Not in today's NFL.
That's true. It's not really that big of a worry.
You look at Greenlaw. You look at, what's his name from last year? Ivan Pace, undrafted. He's the Viking starter.
Yeah. But hell, you know what? Bobby Wagner, I mean, I think he's only 6
wasn't
foot.
the biggest.
He's not the biggest. He plays big, but he's not the biggest.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the big, stocky linebackers anymore. You know, they're more athletic. They're more speedy. They're more just do-it-all guys. So, Cedric Gray, I love. Cedric Gray, I love. 4th round, if he's there, I would love that. Would love Cedric Gray. He's a project for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to say project. He just needs development in some areas. Like his tackling needs fixed. His the way he hits the gaps need a little more smartening. Sometimes he overestimates and misses his guys, which leads to missed tackles. That's gonna need fixed. But you fix all that, I mean, the guy can do it all. The guy's a sideline to sideline range. He can get the turnovers, right? He can blitz. I like Cedric Gray a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's there in the 4th, but he could fall.
I think he could be. I don't think many linebackers actually get taken.
No, it's going to be more so a day 2 selection. And linebacker's weak. After Cedric Gray, who's the next top guy? I couldn't tell you. The Notre Dame cat? Tommy Eichenberg?
Well, they got both of them. Notre Dame, they got 2 of them.
Yeah, I know they do.
They got the long hair guy, and they got the J.D. Bertrand.
Yeah.
However you pronounce his last name.
Right.
What's another guy? Kentucky guy. Trevin Wallace.
Trevin Wallace is good. Darius Muasau, I love out of UCLA.
Yeah. I think there's
Jalen Ford.
Nathaniel Watson from Mississippi State. That's
not
like
crazy.
late round.
It's not crazy. It's not crazy. So, yeah, that's why I think Gray could fall to the 4th.
Yeah.
A 119 or whatever, that'd be nice. Still need to be taller than 5% linebacker, I think, or you'll get Bush who don't want to tackle. You need to be a little. You can't be a midget like Bush.
And you can't be afraid to tackle. The guys that we're talking about, I mean, they will go in there and tackle. Bush just didn't want to go down and shoot the gap. Bush didn't want to do his job.
Yeah. Ford would be solid as well. Yeah, he would be. Tyron Hopper from
Missouri.
Yeah. He'd be another good one. Hopper. Just caught the live, so I'm late. Do you guys feel like we'll end up reaching for center instead of taking best available? Yes, I do. I still think they're going to go O-line 1st round. If Mims is there, I have a strong feeling he'll be a Steeler. If he's not there, they could still go lineman. Or they could trade back and then take lineman because they know they can get extra picks.
Mm-hmm.
I have a strong feeling O-line could still be the pick, but I could be wrong. Khan might be a little aggressive at other positions. And I'll just say this. Our next mock, which will be eligible, which will be viewable for STN members exclusively tonight, pretty much, in fact, after this stream is ended, STN members can watch our next mock. Our next mock will be out Tuesday. Public for everyone.
There we go.
So I'll put that out there. We can wait on linebacker till next year. Better ones are coming out. I just think we could use depth. You're not wrong. I just think we could use depth. So Steelers still have Levi Wallace. Someone answer that. No, Levi Wallace. No, he's a free agent. He's going to visit the Broncos.
And he can stay there.
Frankly, he can ride the white Bronco over.
Well, we took Russell Wilson. You have Levi Wallace. Deal? All right, Peyton. Yeah. Best of luck to you.
Yeah. He can ride the white Bronco all the way. I don't care. Give him a.
God bless Patrick Surtain, by the way. I'm just saying. God bless that man. Hell, God bless Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
Man. Who's our quarterback? Ben DiNucci?
Hey, yo, we will trade you. We will trade you I don't know. We'll trade you. We'll trade you Dan Moore. We'll trade you Dan Moore for Patrick Surtain and Cortland Sutton. We'll even throw in the 2 7th rounders we got for Kenny Pickett.
Sound like a deal?
Sound like a deal to me.
I'll take it.
Sound like a deal to me. If they go O-line in the first, they are telling the world they do not expect to make a run this year. You're not wrong, but they're still focused on building the line. I know they can be serviceable with Dan Moore. They have been. But I know we can do better, but they can be serviceable with him. They just need a center. But like you guys have stated, center is just not worth taking the first round. I still think center could be a top selection. It's a lot more favorable if they trade back. Just don't trade back too far to the point where a team like the Cowboys could select one. And I don't want to reach on a certain guy in the first round.
Yeah.
So, again, man.
See, talking about center first round, we all know the one guy that's first round bound or should be a first rounder.
JPJ.
That's JPJ.
Yeah.
I still think center's the number 1 position. We just don't have one. We've neglected it. The guys that we have had have been fill-ins. They've been terrible. They have not been serviceable. There's a reason why they are no longer here. And it really depends on the draft boards, on how they view center, what they think of center. I know center's not center's not a high pick to select early in the draft. But, I mean, the Ravens did it with Tyler Linderbaum in the first round not too long ago.
Yeah, 25th overall.
And, so. I mean, so far it's panning out pretty well for them.
Right, but it depends how the board falls. Keep your minds open to everything.
It depends on how the Steelers just view everything.
Right.
I have a preference. I would think I would like center to be round 1 because I feel like it's the biggest position.
Well, I'm still hell-bent on O-line.
But
because I'm aware that the other positions that we need are stacked. But I'm also aware that I could say the same thing for center in relation that we could wait on center in the second round because it drops. It just does drop. It's the one position every year that drops.
But how many prospects are going to fall off beforehand?
Well, there's only 3 or 4 top. Graham Barton might go a lot earlier than many think. That's my bold prediction. JPJ might go to the Cowboys. Frazier might go to the Panthers. They need a center.
You got to throw the Eagles in there.
Eagles need a center.
Yeah.
They all select right before us at 51. We might have to trade up. In that case, if we go whatever position in the first and then trade up for center in the second, I don't hate it. In fact, I find that a massive necessity.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they don't trade up too much. Which I don't think Khan would.
Nah, he doesn't overpay.
No.
He doesn't overpay.
06 Steelers Nation. Miami will take JPJ. They don't need center. They got Aaron Brewer, right? Well, he got
Miami?
Yeah.
Miami, yes.
Yeah, Aaron Brewer. Yeah, they wouldn't need a.
Connor. What's his name? Connor Williams? Yeah, he's still available.
But he's still
hurt.
Still recovering.
He may not play again from by the looks of it, maybe.
Jackson Powers Johnson has 3 last names. Yeah, it's fucking great.
JPJ.
Cooper Beebe's film looks great. He could play center. I like Cooper Beebe. He could play center. You're not wrong. You're not wrong whatsoever. I find him very underrated. I think he's going to be a very nice interior guy. Thing is, he's more of a guard, though. That's his thing. He's more of a guard.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to play him at center? In fact, I don't think he's ever played center. He can do it.
No reps. No reps at center.
Trade Cam Hayward? Is that what you're saying? Did I read that properly? You know that's not happening. But he needs a fucking pay cut. I say with all due respect and full thanks and everything he's done, but he needs a pay cut. To think, man, Steelers did all the moves they made without having to restructure anyone's contracts. None.
And I think they eventually will.
Yeah.
I think it's a necessary move to do. I mean, they still got draft picks to sign. They still got other moves that they may end up doing when it comes to depth pieces or whatever else that may transpire, that may happen. They still got to create some extra cap.
Right.
Highsmith, Watt, Minka, Hayward, Ogunjobi. That's all defense, but I mean, like, we need the money. We need it for a lot.
You're right.
A lot of other players. We could use some of that money for top receiver if we were to trade for one, right?
Yeah.
We really could. See, that's what's going to be interesting. If the Steelers somehow suddenly start restructuring contracts to make room, then I think that would be a big sign of, hey, something's happening. They're stirring something up.
Right.
Something's happening.
Only team before us at 20 could be the Rams picking center. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, because
What else do they
I
need?
don't even know who their center. I don't even know if they have one.
What else do they need? I'm not that knowledgeable on what the Rams need. But yeah, you're right. They lost Brian Allen. He was hurt all last year anyway. Why do we create a need at such an important position without a plan? The plan was the draft. It's a good problem to have. Any current free agents y'all still looking at? Not really. Simmons.
That's a good question. I mean, not exactly.
Simmons, I don't know how he's still on the market. Michael
Price.
Gallup. Who?
Because of price.
Price. Michael Gallup. Tyler Boyd. I don't know if he's it's either the Steelers or
At this
or
point,
nowhere.
I don't see him become a Steeler. I don't think he
It's the Steelers
decreases his asking price.
Well, it's the Steelers are nowhere. Unless you were signed somewhere already. Hunter Renfrow. I like him as a slot weapon. He's always been a dependable target.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
There's not a lot. It's just been quiet. I mean, everyone's just prepping and getting ready for the draft at this point.
Yep. Brian Stone says, if you get a starter at the center position in the first round, you just solved one position for the next several years. That is good value. You can get OT, wide receiver, or corner in the second day, deep this year. And that's my thought process. But I got to understand that you can also get a center day two while selecting a top tackle, receiver, or corner in the first round. The problem with that is you run the risk of losing out on one of the top three centers.
Yeah, because there's only about 3 or 4 centers. Barton, JBJ, Frazier, and Van Pran. That's it.
Yeah.
That's literally it for the first 2 days of the draft.
Right.
That's 4. When we're talking about receiver, I mean, we're talking endlessly about
Same
guys.
thing
When we're
with
talking
corner.
about corner, we're talking endlessly about guys. When it comes to tackle, we're talking endlessly about guys.
And that's my thought process. I feel more comfortable snagging my top center for 10 years and not missing out on one and still going in deep classes at what you said.
Hell, Tomlin even noted about it during the NFL meetings earlier in
he did say,
the month.
he said we can draft a wide receiver anywhere to make an immediate impact. Rather, there's only a handful of centers that can be day one.
Yeah.
Handful. So that might indicate they might take center earlier. But
Again, all's on the table. Everything's on the table.
I'm not hell-bent on anyone. I have my preferences. I have my wish list. But I'm not hell-bent like I used to be this year. I used to be that last year. I was that a couple years ago with Najee and JK and guys like that. This year, I'm just, we'll see how the board falls. That's what it all comes down to. Like, I'm not pressing the Steelers to, you got to trade up for this guy. You got to get this guy. Let's see how the board falls. because I trust him to get a stud anywhere. I'm standing on Quinion, Wiggins, or trade up for Odunze in the first. We need speed and impact play in the secondary and on offense. I don't blame you there. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. I don't blame you whatsoever there. And they are best player available selections. And Rome is worth trading up for. Rome's going to be a stud. Trading up, though, will cost extra capital. That's the thing. That's the problem. Unless they trade next year's capital. But it depends who they trade up with.
Unless they get lucky again with another Patriot situation where we're just like, oh, fuck it, let's just screw with our rival.
If a certain player that they really like falls deep enough, like a Fuaga or like a Rome, yeah, they're worth trading up for.
Right.
But they got to fall to a certain point.
See, I don't see Rome getting out to top 10.
Me neither.
I don't, because you see the Cardinals are right there. The Chargers absolutely are right there. The Giants are up there.
Wiggins, I think, could be there at 20. Mitchell, I think, could be there at 20. Cooper, Dijon, maybe. It's a long shot.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is why, like, again, I'm open to everything. I think Van Pran's the best center. I wouldn't be mad at drafting Van Pran. I think Van Pran is a great backup plan if you don't get JPJ or Frazier.
Yep.
Van Pran, man, is very good.
He's a guy to fall back on. He would not be a bad selection whatsoever.
And just like Frazier, he has a ton of experience at center. He's one of the more pure up there with Frazier because they have years of experience.
And he comes from a great school, Georgia, of course, where he just adapted a great mentality and a great mindset,
Winning mentality, bully mentality.
Playing the team first, just being that guy in the middle of the offensive line.
And the Steelers have had their eye on a guy like Van Pran for years.
Years.
Come on.
So, yeah, receiver early, tackle early, corner early. They want to put center back. The round 2, maybe round 3. I wouldn't select center that late. I'd get a center within the first 2 picks.
Right.
Frazier's gone. Van Pran's right there. I think he's worth a second-round pick.
What do you feel we do at slot corner? Sanders Till in the second would be a home run. Same thing with Melton. If not, you can fall back on the Jerrion Jones in the third or a Tyke Smith in the fourth.
They've shown interest in Andrew Phillips.
He can get
He can get his feet wet in the slot.
Unless they draft a corner day one or the first round and they start him in the slot day one. You got to look at everything.
Or hell, a guy day 3 if they were to look at. I'm talking early day 3 is Tyke Smith.
Yeah, I love
out
Tyke.
of Georgia.
I'll even throw in a Javon Bullard. He could be there in the third. They start him off in the slot.
Yeah, they can pick him too.
If they want to work him up as a safety down the road, they can do that.
Mm-hmm. Now I can see that. He's played a ton in the slot. He's very good at that.
Well, him and Tyke played the same roles.
They just swapped years.
Yeah.
They just swapped years, but both of them were fantastic in the slot.
Mm-hmm. Had elite years. Similar play styles. Let me see. Where's the chat? I got so many tabs open. Let me close half of these tabs. Holy shit.
I only got 4 open, bro.
There we go. Yeah, I got so many tabs open. Close them all out. Boom. There we go.
Linderbaum was worth it first. I don't feel the same about these centers. The only one I feel about is JPJ.
Yeah.
That's the only one I feel about.
Yeah. Look up Sean Stevens and let Rob see him real quick. I want to see your reactions. Sean, why does that name ring a bell? Didn't we bring him in for like a visit? Or didn't we scout him or something?
How would you spell his first name? Is it like
S-H-O-N. He is the cousin of Joey Porter Jr.
Really?
Is that right? Is that right? Is this gonna be the Steelers' bloodline situation? Is this gonna be the Roman Reigns to the Rock? Is this gonna be the Solo to the Tamatonga? Interesting.
Cousin, eh?
Apparently. Sean Stevens.
Ferris State. 16 interceptions in 2022, 2023.
Wow.
Hand times in the 4.3 at Pro Day. Is also the cousin of Joey Porter Jr., JPJ.
So he'll be a late round flyer. Good double dip there. That was your special teams gunner. He has the speed for it. Let me search
I'm trying to find.
Sean Stevens. Media. I'll make sure. Okay, I'm muted.
Yeah, you're muted. Wants to load up for me. There we go. 8th interception of the year.
I'm looking at the same play. That didn't show a good camera angle. Oh, he's a ball hawk. Holy shit. Hey, you know what? Let me go to old reliable. Let me go to YouTube. Sean Stevens.
Oh, he wants that guy in the end zone. This is against AB. AB school, not AB.
I was about to say, hold on, who?
Not that, not CTE ESPN AB, which is not credible. I don't care if he's had conversations with former NFL players. You can't take that man seriously. I'm just saying that.
Was off. Anyway,
I gotta say, whoever's the cameraman for WLU is not good. Like, I'm trying to see the interception here, and he points the camera too late. Like, follow the ball. But I mean, he leaps over, he muscles the guy. That was a good rep there. He wears number 7. Can't have it here. Sorry, Sean. But is this a play here?
this guy's got good ball skills. That's the first thing that pops off to me.
Oh, whoa. How the hell did he intercept that ball? Hold on. That was a pick 6.
That's the first thing that pops off is his ball skills.
Okay, this was against AB University. Your receiver should have caught that, but it bounced out, and as Sean Stevens is coming down, as the receiver,
God damn, he plays with a ferociousness. Holy shit!
as the receiver doesn't make the catch, he just like grabs it and then takes it to the hash. He's quick. He is quick.
It's like a ball magnet. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, in regards of him intercepting the ball or attacking the ball carriers, like.
Yeah,
Comes from Division 2.
4-3-1 laser time.
Holy shit. Yeah, you want a special teams gunner? Get his feet wet?
They want to look at him. They absolutely could.
They did. That's a potential late round flyer.
All right.
Sean Stevens.
All right.
They could easily throw in a 6th rounder for him if they want to. Secret Underdog the Gamer says, hey, Twins, how you doing? We're doing great.
Doing just fine, man.
Great.
How you doing, brother?
As a matter of fact, we got one more week of work to get through, and then we got vacation, which is draft week. So we just got to get through one more work week, and then, then it's draft week.
Probably going to drag, but you know what?
I was going to drag like a motherfucker.
We'll get through it.
I'd rather have Cortland Sutton from the Denver Broncos. To me, he's a perfect fit, plus him and Wilson have chemistry. That's exactly what we alluded to earlier in the stream. It just makes sense. Wouldn't cost a lot. It's a perfect fit.
Matter of fact, is there anything going on X? Probably not, but wouldn't hurt to look. At 10:35, just hit 10:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over here. As it's raining.
Is it raining?
Yes, I can hear it.
Great. I got work in the rain tomorrow. You love that. End of the day, we need to get Dan Moore off the field, point blank, period. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more.
Yeah, it's dead on X.
Well, what do you think's going to happen? Brandon Aiyuk's going to get traded in the next minute? You know it ain't happening. It ain't happening.
Yeah, well, what the hell am I thinking?
Do we trade for JPJ if he falls to the second? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. That's what I would do.
Uh-huh.
Unless you think Frazier's going to be there. But, I mean, I don't know.
That's a gamble, dude. I don't know. That's a gamble.
Yeah, Rob, I got to look more into Sean. Just from my quick initial look at him, yeah, he could definitely be a nice little late round snag that we can bring in. He can make a nice impact on in training camp, kind of work his way up. Even if he's an undrafted guy, yeah, I can absolutely see him signing with the Steelers to be with his cousin and then be a nice camp sleeper. I like that.
Just be that depth piece, that special teams guy. Just work his way up from there.
A
Boom.
lot of guys that could be that way. So we're only a week and a half away from finding out who the Steelers are going to draft,
Yes,
who they're going
sir.
to bring in. So it'll be here before we know it. We just got to get through one more work week, guys, and then we got draft week. And I can't wait for it because we will be live every single day during draft week. Monday we'll be live. Next Tuesday, we will be live for our very last mock draft. Wednesday, we'll be live Wednesday night with the final draft discussion regarding everything. Everything. Thursday, we'll be live for night 1 of the first round. Friday, we'll be live for night 2. And then Saturday, we'll be live for the recap of the entire draft class. So it's going to be a busy draft week.
It's going to be full of emotions next week.
Yeah, it's you can say that again.
Going to be full of emotions next week. The next 2 weeks, really, with whatever news is going to come out, whatever rumors coming out, per sources, all that gibberish bull crap.
Yeah.
You know, but you got to get through it. We'll be here before you know it. And them emotions, man, like when they hit you, man, it's what makes the NFL draft exactly
Exciting.
that.
And we hope
it
you
makes
guys,
it exciting.
And we hope you guys are going to join us for another great draft season. Hopefully another great Steelers draft. So it's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be a crazy ride. Not only will we be live for the draft and all that, we obviously will be announcing the winners of the George Pickens.
Yes.
I was thinking of someone else. George Pickens signed jersey as well as the Joey Porter Jr. signed jersey. George Pickens will be raffled on night 1. Joey Porter Jr. will be raffled on night 2 because he was drafted on night 2 last year. Get it? Get the correlation? Makes sense. Yeah, those will be announced on both nights of the NFL draft. We'll be live for both of them. So if you guys want to get in, it's as easy as joining the channel membership. Join the SteelTwins Nation. Low cost of $1.99 a month.
As cheap as Russell Wilson signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Literally, and it's incredible. It's an incredible cost, and you guys get a chance at winning maybe both of these jerseys. So you guys can get in on that for draft night, as well as you guys will get early access to videos, an invite link to the Discord chat if you guys are into that, and of course the emotes that Secret Underdog the Gamer just put in the chat, which is the new emote that we put, which is the Let's Ride.
We gotta get a soundbite for that.
We will. We'll get it for the draft. Don't worry. We'll get it for the draft. But in fact, as a matter of fact, speaking of the STN, USTN members, if there's any of you guys in here, speaking of Secret Underdog, you specifically will get early access to our next mock draft right now because it's uploaded. And if you guys want early access to it, all you gotta do is join the STN. And you officially now have early access to our next mock right now. So
As we are speaking.
So there you go. You have it. Otherwise, we're going to go on out of here. We're going to enjoy the rest of our Sunday night, the rest of our weekend, and then get ready for the work week, as will you guys. So thank you guys for joining us tonight as we discussed all the trade rumors, which are false, but it's still a possibility. Will the Steelers trade for wide receiver? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, thank you guys for joining us tonight on a large discussion of the draft, and can't wait to do it again next week, as next week, man, will be draft week, and it's going to be a crazy one. So can't wait to see you guys then. Thank you, guys, and have a great week. Have a great week. Let's get through this week, and then we got draft week. Here we go, Steelers, man.
As always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace! Look at that man right there. What the fuck does he have planned? He's got something up his sleeve. He's got something brewing, bro. He's doing something. He's been too quiet. Why you been too quiet, man?
When he's quiet, he's working.
I haven't heard from you, bro. We need something. What is you doing? You got something brewing. What you got going on, man? Come on. Spill the beans.
I like to think when he's quiet, it's a good thing. That means he's working. That means he's plotting something.
He's doing something, man.
He's mixing something together.
I don't know. He's doing something.